Listen, listen, listen. Welcome to Monday Night Tour Rambles, where I will ramble on for approximately 3 hours tonight. No, I am not giving you 6 hours because I missed last week. So please don't say you can go to 3 o'clock because, well, I probably could, but I'm not even about to. So anyway, thank you guys all for tuning in. It seems like there's less people here to begin with, so it seems like people have already forgotten me. You miss one week, something comes up, literally something comes up, and people drop off. They find new shows to watch at 9 p.m. at Mondays, and even Baldy said I didn't even realize uh, the Iron Grenadier was on at the same time that you are, which I was like, oh yeah, that's right, he is. Anyway, I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend and a whole week. Um, so quickly, if you guys did not read, I did put it out in the community tab. Um, so what happened was last Sunday, I came up here, spent about 2 hours doing my show. I always talk about how you guys don't see how much time any of us spend in this chair. None of you care either. You just want to be entertained like the little monkeys that you are. And I sit here for 2 hours and I've got YouTube on. I'm scrolling through pictures, which means the internet is working. I finish up. I'm like, hey, you know what? There's not a lot to talk about. Um, so it really works good for the topic because it's kind of like an evergreen topic because it's about me, and we all know I love to talk about myself. I go downstairs, say, you know what? Let's make some popcorn because it's much easier to lose weight if you're already fat than if you're skinny. So I'll fatten myself up. I sit down probably to watch Burn Notice. No, actually, you know what? I think I actually sat down to watch Boston Blue and catch up. And my internet's not like I can't get on. Like I can't watch the app. Now, my TV is not Wi-Fi. I have it hardwired in. And sure enough, man, I'm on my phone. The phone's giving me the whole like, do you want to use data? And I'm like, what the hell? Then my son tells me it's not working. So between the course of literally doing the show, putting it together, going downstairs, making popcorn, sat down, my internet went out. No one else lost internet because I did all the stuff with it wasn't with the router. It was with the modem because I can see that the little globe, the little world wasn't lit up. I have an extra modem just in case. I called the guy, go through everything, hook up a new modem, doesn't work. And he says, oh, it looks like there's an issue. But no one else is down. So earliest we can get someone out is Tuesday. And I said, all right, well, I guess do Tuesday. And that is what we did. So anyway, I'm glad not everyone forgot about the show. It's good to know that 4 years in, it's not that easy to forget. But anyway, that was the reason why I did put out it in the community tab fairly early because once they told me no one was coming out to Tuesday, I wasn't even going to bother doing that. Is it working? Is it not working? Maybe it's going to work. Once I kind of realized, hey, this thing is not going to come back up, just called it a day, let everyone know. But I'm sure not everyone saw it in the community tab. So that's what happened. Spent 2 hours here. And again, it didn't change. I think that's what the craziest thing was to me, that like I was using it the whole time, and then when I went downstairs, it just died. Anyway, you guys got to see me on Circle of Jerks. Got to see me on Thursday with a friend. You got to see all the reviews that went up in the past 2 weeks, which I was expecting this to be a very light month. Yeah, not so much. Not so much for sure. And we're gonna have another big month, I think, next month, because I think that's when all the Fresh Monkey Fiction or Big Bad Workshop stuff is about to drop. But anyway, hope everyone else had a wonderful weekend. I got to get new washer and dryer. You know you're getting old when not only are you going out and buying a brand new washer and dryer because yours is failing, but you're excited about it. and I bought a washer with the window on the top, so I can actually see and make sure the water is filled up properly and everything. And then I get really disappointed when it would um, uh, fog up and I can't see it. Yes, my life is sad as a sad little toy man. Watch some TV shows. I did watch. I know people are gonna say that people are gonna say they watched it or they don't want to watch it. They don't. I watched the Madison. If you're a fan of Taylor Sheridan or the whole Yellowstone, they've been pushing the Marshalls. We're covering the Marshalls over at the TV terminal. I didn't realize the Madison dropped 3 episodes. The next 3 episodes are this week. We did a quick recap of it. I wouldn't call it a quick recap. It was a long hour and 15 minutes, something like that. If you're going to watch it, I'll say this. Watch the first 3 episodes. That first episode, you may want to quit, but in my opinion, the writing on it was absolutely wonderful, and it makes sense. It makes sense all that happens, because in some aspects you might finish the first episode and be like, screw this, I'm not finishing this. But I think by the time you get to the 3rd episode, you're like, all right, I'm invested. It makes sense. Or you say, you know what, I'm out. It has nothing to do with Yellowstone other than it takes place in Montana and it's set in that world. So anyway, all right, let's quickly say hi to everyone that is here. There's 41 people watching. Please, if you haven't yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Believe it or not, we are close to 87,000. I'm sorry, 8,700, not 87,000, 8,700 subscribers. I think we might hit 9,000 before we get to Joe Fest, which would be I'd be very happy with. Anyway, I got MTC Collects jumping in here. Hi, it's me. We have GI Bro, who has the best guns in the community. SES Dog, Kel, Shay. We got Beardy McBeardison. Same Time Toys, who did not invite me to come in on Saturday for Smoking Joe. Saying, what's good, everyone? Punk, hit the go live button. Don't worry. I had other stuff I had to get done first. Norcal, Voodoo, Toy Box, great to see you. Sean Forrester, Action Figs, one of my moderators, saying, what's up, all you beautiful bastards. Alex Martinez. We have Nolan, which makes us Toy Tube official. Viper Scout, who I think will probably be on this Friday for, I will be doing a Punk's Pit. I was supposed to do it last week, but I had stuff I had to get done first and prep for the washer and dryer. So I was like, not going to do it. Clint Jorgensen is in the house. Let's see, Paul Morales. We got Plastic Skulls. We got G.I. Jetman saying, what's up, Punk? I haven't seen you here early on. It's great to have you. Tony's Figs, who now has a girlfriend, so I barely see him. I barely talk to him. Says they're all watching Jerkin Gaines. Yes, I know exactly where they all are. Alex Martinez. I don't know if I just said hi to him. We have Ronnie Trickshot, who's here. Says there's only one head here. Where are the other 4? Where are the 4 others? I don't know what the hell that means. I finally found a way to give Ronnie Trickshot some big arms. Head on over to my Instagram and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. And if you know, you know. Hashtag Club Tarkin. We got Stu for Lunch saying, looking forward to this show by Punk. If anybody here is Ken, when am I saying hi to you? You say hi to Ken the moment you come and say, hi, Ken, just in case, because you never know when he's going to pop in. But as soon as you see Ken, you say hi to him. We have a Devil Dog. I know there's a few others. We have Kiwi GI Customs. Hey, everyone, how's it going? All the way from New Zealand. And I'm telling you, if you want to go to Joe Fest, this might be the year to go, because just like last year, there were people from across the pond. You're probably going to get a few others from across the pond also. Just remember that. That's how wonderful of a show this is. Paul Morales. Let's see here. Viper Scout says, Burn Notice might be my favorite show from that era. Did I mention that I have been watching Burn Notice? Is that why you brought it up? because I've been binge watching Burn Notice again. I really, yeah, I've been watching. I can pop it on and just because I've already watched it before, I can walk away from it. I cannot believe the stars that have been in Burn Notice. I watched an episode. Michael B. Jordan was in it with, oh God, the wide receiver from the Dallas Cowboys, Michael Irving. Like, there's a litany of guys that went on to be stars or girls that went on to be stars. The episode that I just watched with Sam, his ex-fiance, was the older woman, the married woman that Brandon Walsh from 90210 gets involved with. Yes, I had to go there. Cooter's Garage is here. We have a Derek Holloman. Let's see. Hi, it's me. I know he's been in here for quite some time. At least he made a comment, I think, on my latest review that I dropped before I did the show here, which I wasn't expecting to find. We have Lost Ranger 87. I don't know. Is there an 86? Is there an 88? Usually that's someone's birthday or year they were born, I guess. Russell Lemieux is here. G.I. Jetman says, I love Marshalls, the Madison, and Boston Blue. Okay, listen, Boston Blue, Blue Bloods. It is a guilty pleasure of mine. I'm not gonna lie. It is a true guilty pleasure of mine. Yes, SES dog is here. We have the Window of Viper. I love the fact that this dog, like this name, tricks people when they are trying to figure it out. Once you know it, you fully understand it. We have Mendoza is here, and I think we've hit just about everyone so far. So let's see if we can kind of scroll down to the end. Tony says, no girlfriend here, buddy. She's a FWB. That's what gets you in trouble every single time. I'm just saying. Since I met you, that is what gets you in trouble. U.S. Combat Dojo, we have Soul Brother 1, not 2 or 3. Woo! Yes, I know Michael B. Jordan 1. And I'm not a fan of Michael B. Jordan. I've mentioned this before. I just don't like him. I liked him as Creed. I've liked him in some stuff. I just don't like him as an actor. And that movie that won all that stuff, what the hell was it? Whatever movie won all that stuff, I was not impressed with that movie at all. It had its good points, and I am a fan. I don't know how that did that. I am a fan of story building. There was way too much story building in that vampire movies. Yes, Sinners. That's it. Thank you, Derek. There was way too much story building. I didn't need to see that much, only to get vampire fight at the end. Spoiler alert. Good premise. I didn't like the way it was executed. Action figure sold separately has joined us, and then 3-star draw saying, "What's up, punk mods and chat?" Woo! All right. So I think we nailed. Hold on. We got one more here. We got Steve Chom or Ted Knight. I think what's funny about Steve Chom here? Very few people do I go back to their original name of Ted Knight, unless it's someone that I have like personal interaction with and everything. But I go back to Ted Knight, and I've never even seen Caddyshack, and I believe this is where that is from. But I remember one time he said, "Look at the icon. That's what it is." But I always go back to that for some reason. You're one of the few that I don't have like a personal relationship that I've done shows with and everything. So anyway, I don't know why I had to tell you that. Anyway, it has been a long weekend, a long couple weeks, but you guys have seen me again. Circle of Jerks, Thursday with a friend, all that other good stuff. Let's see here. Dominic Johnson saying, "I'm glad you said that about Sinners. Everyone else praised the hell." All right, so this is what's okay. So this is what's really odd about it. I watched it, and I went to go record with my buddy Adam on the TV terminal, and I brought it up, or he brought it up to me because I'm like, I watched it on his server, right? He has a server with movies, right? We're just gonna leave it at that. And I watched it, and he goes, "I gotta ask, what'd you think of it?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's too long. Way too much story building," which I love story building. All right, I wouldn't be watching the Madison if I didn't love story building, right? I love these shows. I'm like, there was way too much. And the premise, I liked the premise and the idea, but it was like, it was slow going. It was just long and drawn out, and everyone is just raving about it. And I'm glad to see Derek or Dominic here saying the same thing. Did I call you Derek? Dominic Johnson there. The same thing. And Adam said the same thing. It was just long and drawn out, which is very, very, I don't get it. Anyway, Skunk Works. So Skunk Works Studio. Again, Dom, I'm with you. It's nice to see other people kind of have that same feel. No, I've never seen Caddyshack. Listen, it was a golf movie, so I had no reason to want to watch it. I know it's a classic. It's one of those ones that you just never get around to going back and seeing it. No Love says, "I need that Scareglow. Good review. Thank you very much." I wasn't expecting to find it. It was just sitting there at Walmart. I am not collecting Masters of the Universe, but I think it's going to fit in pretty well. I think it will fit in pretty well with Mythic Legions and Savage Crucibles and stuff like that. And then we have this guy here, Matthew. That's not Matthew. I hate when things jump. We have Matthew Matson jumping in here with his one of my other moderators. I only have 2 moderators. Anyway, okay. So I have like all my notes right here. That's what happens when you gotta do things on your own. I've dropped a whole bunch of reviews, and I'm gonna talk about. There's three in particular. One was 44D2. He sent me, and again, I'm very honest. I know people have accused me of buying stuff on eBay or getting free stuff. I tell people when I do stuff, how I get stuff. I don't hide it. These things were all sent to me. 44D2 sent me the rocket pods for the Dragonfly. Now, he had sent me a set for the Rattler. There were some issues with the original one, so he went and he made some adjustments, but he also threw on adaptions for the Dragonfly. So I had those on that. Well, he modified them. He made the rockets a little bit longer. He sent them to me. I put a nice little note in there saying, "Hey, for these gloomy days in Detroit or Michigan or wherever it was." So I finally did a review on that. Derek, who I will be meeting up with once again at Joe Fast, he sent me a 3D printed water moccasin. I think most of you have seen it. It is done absolutely wonderfully. Please go check it out if you haven't. If you are interested in it, they are expensive. All this 3D printing stuff is expensive. You go look at GI Customs, who I recently had on Thursday with a friend. He's doing this as a full-time job now. You can see the price, and I've always talked about these people that will dog a HasLab for how much they work, especially when the Hiss came out. And I said, go buy one. Go buy a 3D printed one. You're going to be paying roughly the same price. And again, people can say, yeah, if I have the file, I can print it, but you don't have the file and you don't know everything that goes into it. You don't see the failing. You're not doing it, and people aren't doing this just for the kindness of their heart. They're there to try and, hey, they're doing it because they like doing it, but they want to make some money, and their time is worth it. So go check it out. I gotta say that water moccasin is done absolutely wonderfully. I was not expecting it at all. He said that he was sending me something. I kind of thought that it was going to be the Night Landing, but it turns out when I saw the box, I was like, that's way too big of a box to be a Night Landing. So go check that out. And then I have to mention, action figure sold separately. I constantly put his stuff. You can even see some of the stuff back here. I almost took out my my Robo Skull. You can see some stuff right behind the Robo Skull. I purchased some stuff. Thank you to Ed at Joe Fest. And then I just constantly put his stuff in. I always tag people. Like if I got something from someone, or I even purchased something, I don't care if I get it for free or whatever. If it's in the background, I try and tag people in it. And he really appreciated all the tagging that I had done. He's like, hey, I'm going to send you some stuff. I didn't post a picture of the box. He sent me a picture of the box, and it was a U-Haul box that was an 18 by 18 by 24. That's a big fucking box. And I did a review kind of showing off everything. He does wonderful stuff. And what is great is up here, I have more of the modern stuff that goes with like G.I. Joe, Operation Monster Force, and stuff like that. Downstairs right now, I have all the stuff that goes more with the fantasy stuff, which I needed both. He does wonderful stuff. Please go check out those videos. There are links to all of their either Etsy, eBay, or wherever they're selling their stuff from. Go check it out if you're interested in it. Don't huff and puff about the price. I don't ever want to hear about the price that somebody else is working very hard to make something. And when someone says, hey, well, I could do that, well, then fucking do it. We hear this all the time. Anytime someone does a custom, I've talked to Tony's Figs and these other guys where they tell them how much it's going to cost, and people will be like, well, I could do that. Well, then fucking do it. Don't ask me to do it and then be pissed off because you think it's too expensive. Sorry. Just a little rant, I guess. I wasn't planning on going on. Kira says Curious. I don't know if I'm saying that right. The Rebel Harley rocks. Try and check her out. You must be talking to somebody. At least I hope you are, or else I'm just reading something that makes no sense whatsoever. Let's see here. We have Alex. We're just going with Alex. Hello, just wanted to know how well does the Valiverse and Gridiron weapon scale to the 1/12 scale? Kind of looking over them and adding into a figure I bought. Now I don't buy Valiverse stuff anymore. I have had it in the past. For the most part, the new guns match pretty well. Some of his older guns, like the AK-47, were way too big. The one thing that I will say, and I don't know if he has modified this, the magazines for all of the M4s or any of that, the Scars, they look like tiny little magazines. They don't look right. If you have an extra M16 magazine from one of the G.I. Joe figures, one of the G.I. Joe characters, you can take that magazine, put a little bit of sticky tack in, and it will make it look proper. But I don't collect that stuff. I'm going to tell you this. If you want some nice weapons, go to Gridiron, or better yet, go to Top Fun Toys. You can use my code Punk with Toys. You get 10% off. Lots of different stuff that you can get there. But I can tell you they scale fairly well. I'm just not a huge fan of. I don't collect the stuff. I don't support that brand. I guess that is the best way to put it. Wraith Mace jumping in here saying, yo, evening Punk. Glad the internet is good now, sir. Sup all, and we are the hammer. All right. Troy Bleeford is here. Ooh, I kind of, a lot of people have jumped in. All right. So I wasn't expecting all the stuff that came, but I got the Shadow Wraith, which was the Zolocon exclusive from Operation Monster Force. I really enjoy that figure. The one thing that I really like that Operation Monster Force does with their translucent exclusives, and let's be honest, that's all they are, the translucent exclusive. Something you don't need, but people want, is that they make a story for it. Like all those erasers, there's a story for it. The Forgotten King, there's a story for him. Blood Dracula. There was a story for him in these race. There is a story for them. So it's not something you need, but it is something that, hey, you know what? Uh, it works into the storyline. So you're not just buying a translucent figure and being like, what am I going to do with this? So I had to have it. I had someone that was really, again, some of these people leave comments and I'm like, I don't know what you really want. Like telling me, I got one guy or a couple guys that are saying, the you guys have a different set of standards for these independent companies compared to Hasbro. Well, the answer is yes to that. One is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. The other ones are smaller companies that aren't even coming close to making nearly the product, nor working on a property that is 40 years old. Um, Again, it makes no sense, but people love to bring that stuff up. Um, but like there's one guy, and I don't remember his name. He had an issue, and I'm like, you're talking to the wrong person because I didn't lose my shit when the Cold Slither sold out. You know, Exclusives are just that, exclusive. Sometimes you get them and sometimes you don't. There's always a way to get them. And if you really want it, then you'll go on eBay and you'll pay a little bit of extra money. Nobody wants to pay extra money, but that's what an exclusive is. And especially when it comes to a smaller company that's doing something for a con, sometimes you just don't get stuff. It really is that simple. So um just kind of remember that you can't fully compare a multi-billion-dollar company compared to a smaller company that's doing stuff on their own. And I'm talking about all of them. Troy Bleeford has joined us. Let's see here. The Window Viper says, I agree 100%. I agree 100 Punk. That backstory is pretty cool. Again, I think they do a really good job. And again, they have a lore writer. There are a lot of these independent companies that are not giving you any story. Now, and that's fine. I'm not even mad at them, right? They're not giving you a story, but that is something that they have invested in their lore and their story, and it makes it that much better. That's what made G.I. Joe, your He-Man and Transformers so good when we were growing up, is that there was the comic or the cartoon, depending on what you watched. 610 Yo Joe Daddy saying, what's up, Punk? What's up, chat? Y'all smash that like button and subscribe. Yes, please do that. All right. So that was a Shadow Wraith. I got Doc Nocturnal in. I really wanted a Doc Nocturnal from Mezco. This one didn't disappoint at all. It's still, again, Mezco stuff is finicky in my personal opinion. Sorry about that. Mezco stuff is finicky in my opinion. Again, once you get all the garb on him and stuff, it's hard to know when you're going to be bending the knees. All the soft goods make it difficult. The collapsible Tommy gun is it's kind of finicky. All the stuff you connect to it, but the figure itself is really cool. The glow in the dark mask. I really like. Again, the white one looks cool. I'm glad they gave the white one, but I'm just gonna leave him with that green one on mostly. So I got that one. If you haven't checked it out, please do. I put up a poll for the Operation. I'm sorry, the Big Bad Workshop stuff that you wanted to see first reviewed, and I put Bulletproof up. I put up the Phantom Core, and then the command unit, and then the close combat figures from I don't know why I can never remember. Soldiers of Fortune. I really didn't expect Bulletproof to win. I don't remember Cops and Crooks, but I gotta say, I'm not a fan of how he's like a cyborg or whatever he is. I don't really know, but man, if you leave that trench coat on, he works really well as a detective. As a matter of fact, you can see him right back there talking to Detective. Is it Hudson? No, not Hudson. Hudson's the old gargoyle. Detective Brooklyn. The Bronx. I don't know. Someone will tell me. I forget the name of the gargoyles. No, I'm not. Like someone will tell me exactly. And I totally forgot I had. I'm like, oh, you know what? I got two detectives wearing something very similar. I think it's actually kind of cool to kind of combine them. But I did him. I was actually pretty happy with it. I wasn't planning on getting it. Broadway, thank you. I named off like every fucking gargoyle, and I didn't get Broadway. um, no. Again, I think I actually like it, so I might stick with that line just to see how it works. I also forgot that I have 8 cops, so it's not bad to have a detective doing detective works. We got David T. Allen saying, "Hey, Punk, hope you're doing well." I am. Okay, so Alex quickly says, "I'm mostly looking for weapons and figure posing. Mostly interested in removable mags and maybe working slides. I don't care about. I don't care about weep accuracy. Currently looking for either a good shotgun or a 50 cal rifle." Okay. I don't know if I have it around here. I have one around. I don't know where it's at. So I will say this. Even though I don't collect them anymore, uh, I have I was collecting all the Baliver stuff. They have a really good shotgun. The shells kind of pop off the side. There's at least two different colors. I really like that shotgun. So if you're looking for like a shotgun like that for breaching, they do have a really good one. I don't know if you can still get those weapons packs because they sell out, and I don't know if he brings them back into stock or not. So all that stuff is again, any stuff I have, I'll still use. But yeah, and yeah, Matthew said the same thing. Valiver's shotgun collection is great. So anything after that, I really can't tell you. Um, I got the Phantom Core Commander, the Phantom Core Command unit. Now, a lot of us have the Phantom Cores already. It is a wonderful military style figure. This one is $50. I think it was 40 when we got them at Joe Fest, so maybe when they first went up. Uh, it is essentially very close to being the same figure. They give you a different. They give you two different actual face sculpts. Uh, one being Declan before he has the scar, and then the other guy I think is Raven, and I forget what the lore said, but they actually give you a whole bunch of different names. So if you have the Phantom Core or the original one or you have other ones, you can swap them out and you can have a whole unit, which I like. And I have a feeling we're gonna get more of these head sculpts to go with it. Uh, it is such a good figure, and it comes with the M4 with the skeleton key on it. Uh, really good, really good. And then we got the close combat, or as I call him, the Crimson Saboteur. He fits in with um, all of your Crimson guards. If you want Crimson figures, he's going to work perfectly. Before anyone says it's $40, I'm not happy that the prices are $40 either. That's what they are. That's what they're charging. And if you don't want it, then you don't have to buy it. It's a choice that we make, but it's nice to have some options to add to stuff that yeah, Joe, who knows if they're going to do anything like that. Again, if they did something like that, people would lose their mind and go like, "This wasn't what I had in the '80s." We're already seeing it, right? We see how these people will lose their mind. Um, I got Grim the Executioner, another Zolocon exclusive. Uh, Thank you to Joe ARH. I like that figure. He looks really good. It suffers from all the stuff that the Four Horsemen stuff suffers from. Poor articulation. And I don't care. I don't care if they come at me and they're like, "They has better articulation than it used to." I don't it's listen, Four Horsemen, you still have shit articulation. All right. End of story. Because look at the fan. I'm sorry. Look at the Savage Crucible that I have right next to it, and you're like, no, that's what articulation should look like. I understand it's an aesthetic. They have wonderful sculpts, probably the best in the toy community. They have great paint and accessories, but man, your articulation sucks. End of story. There's no way to change that. And well, there is a way to change it. Just have better articulation. And again, the little tweaks that they've made, just because you made it better doesn't make it good. All right. Son of a crayon slayer jumping in here. Um, but I do like the figure. He looks amazing. Glow in the dark heads. Again, it's kind of my theme. And then today I went to I was out and about at another area, and a Walmart I'd never been to. I'm like, I'm gonna go in there. They're not gonna have anything. And they had the new Masters of the Universe Chronicles Scareglow. He is $27, so they have raised their prices. Um, he does have a grabby hand. I just had this one on. His head does glow. Go watch my review if you haven't watched it yet. Don't watch it right now. We'll watch it after this. So I did do the review. I have a thing for. I like glow in the dark figures. I also like the scare glows, but I also think, and you can see the pictures. He works with your Mythic Legions and your Savage Crucibles at a much cheaper price. Now you don't get very much. You get his weapon, and you get 2 hands. I'm sorry, 4 hands altogether. Not a lot. But I think that if you like the Scareglow, he is a 7-inch buck, so he does match up with the um, Masterverse Scareglow. I have that in there, and I show all the scales of those types of figures. Um, I put him next to the Grim Viper, and he just towers over the Grim Viper. So he's not going to fit in with your classified. This worries me because they got the DC license. I truly am hoping that they're going to scale it with Marvel Legends because that's what people want. But I also have a fear they're not, and they own MOTU, and if they raise their prices to 27, I can't see the new DC figures being cheaper. I also went to the clearance section. I found um, a Hawk in the MMS for $50. Still not cheap enough. I already have one. I don't need two. I found the J. Jonah Jameson where he's holding the mask. That was 15. But what I did find that I didn't have was a Quicksilver for $5. Which makes me happy because now I won't be tempted to buy that Quicksilver Black Widow 2-pack because I wanted a Quicksilver. I'm like, man, I should have bought that one. Well, I found it for $5. I bought it. He's going to go perfect with my Avengers and Marvel Legends. So happy about that. It's the green and white one. I can't be too upset about that for sure. Anyway, that's all the stuff that I had. The classic videos I do want to kind of mention. I still have to do from this last series. Strato Viper, the Night Raven, the Terradrome, the Firebat, and the Firebat pilot, which I don't know why I can't think of his name. I bought him for $80 at I bought him for $80 at what the hell? Assembly required because I needed one. I don't know how I lost it. Hell, I still have the backpack. I have my original backpack, the parachute. I even tried to like talking them down. I'm like, hey, can you if you take away the parachute, can I get them a little bit cheaper? He's like, no, it's one. I'm like, all right, worth a shot. I don't know how I lost that figure because that was one of the figures I always kept. But anyway, I got to do those, and then I'm going to be on a little hiatus of doing the classic reviews till after Joe Fest. Going into the next series of figures, this is where I start trailing off as a kid playing with stuff. But I'm actually realizing I've started to assess or amass more of that series. And I'm picking some stuff up from Woody, and I'll be going through the book and seeing if there's other stuff. AVAC, thank you very much, Matthew. And I know the name because I had to ask for him. Gus Feld, wait, where's Gus right here? Gus Felder saying, "What up, everyone? Great to see you here." And then we have King Panther jumping in saying, "Punk, great review of Scareglow. I am sold on it. Punk, when is the next expected drop from the Hasbro for classified figs? Love and support from Chicago. If you aren't subscribed, then join today." Thank you very much. I don't know when the new stuff's coming, but their pre-orders go up tomorrow. And we're going to talk about that later on. So pre-orders do go up. I will have the Amazon Entertainment Earth links before anyone says, "Why don't you put BBTS?" And because you know where to get all the stuff. I put the links there because it helps support the channel, and then you guys can just click on it. That is the reason why I do that. You guys know where to go to get it. I just put it out there because it helps support the channel and it helps you guys especially Amazon. Amazon's a pain to find some of this new stuff. But tomorrow, Zanya and the Dino Boy go up for sale, go up for pre-order, and then later on in the week, we're going to get uh, Red, White, and Blue Duke and the Night Creeper, Night Creeper, I think. Anyway, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's see here. So yeah, so I'm kind of wrapping up with the classic reviews. I'm going to try and get back into doing those 20s. I still have to do for the G.I. Joe Classified 101 to 120 and on. There's a whole bunch of that stuff I want to get to, but it is very time consuming. I know people don't realize how much time goes into it. It is very time consuming to get the stuff done. And again, I've just had a lot of stuff going on, so that series will continue. Gun Bunny jumping in here saying, "What's up, everybody?" All right. I want to say big thank you to Dead Man Juan for Thursday with the Friend from Toymerks. If you have not checked that out, and a lot of people watched it, so I'm really happy about it. Go over there, watch that Thursday with the Friend. It was a great interview. I've very little spoken to him, mostly on Oz's Clubhouse. But he started supporting the channel. He was jumping in. So I wanted to have him on. I like having guys that aren't just full G.I. Joe guys, right? I'm not a G.I. Joe channel, although it is the majority of what I do. Or military base or whatever. But it was a great interview or conversation. It's not really an interview, it's a conversation. But yeah, so please go check that out. And this week I have Joe ARH, and I just said, hey, it's great not to have a G.I. Joe guy, and here I have Joe ARH. I have Joe ARH jumping in. And again, another guy I've spoken very little to. So I'm really looking forward to hearing his story, where that goes. Now, I have up until Joe Fest planned. There's 1 week that I don't have planned. I'm reaching out to somebody. I keep forgetting to. But going into May, starting May, we start the Drive to Joe Fest. And it is hard to constantly bring on guests that I've never had before. Eventually, I'm going to go back to some of the earlier guests because their stories have changed. Not so much their life stories, but what's changed within YouTube, our friendships, different things like that. Things have changed. So I eventually will start to reach out to some other people. Here's another thing. Please don't reach out to me. The quirks or not, I'm very adamant. Like, I don't like the whole, like, me, pick me. I don't like that. Quirks or not, most of you guys know what my quirks kind of are like. But I'm reaching out to people. And that's kind of how I determine who I want to have on. And there's a lot that goes into me thinking who I want to bring on Thursday with the Friend. Just understand that. And there's reasons why I don't bring people on. All right. And there's a reason why I do bring other people on. Just know that there is more to it than just, hey, there's the person right there. Let's see. We have Billy Boys Toys jumping in here and saying, hey, Punk, hope you're doing well. We have Dan Olton saying, I'm here for the MOTU news. Thanks for the Scareglow review, by the way. You're probably not going to see many more MOTU reviews. But there was only one other one out there, so I wanted to get it out there. And it's actually done better than most of my Origins ones I've ever done. So anyway, the Drive to Joe Fest is what I'm calling it as of right now. In May, it is kicking off with Ed from Joe Fest, along with Ed, my moderator. So what you will see in this whole series leading up to Joe Fest, it is all people that are going to Joe Fest. I'm not having anyone on that isn't at Joe Fest, but what I wanted to do was kind of in the same vein that I do for the Punkathon, is I want to bring on groups of people that do shows together or do stuff together. So I'm just kind of going to give you a quick little rundown of kind of what I have going on. This starts in May. I have Debo and Plastic Fantastic. They're coming on. I'm starting with Ed and Ed. My moderator, him and I will be rooming. That's who we're starting. I'm having a couple guys from podcast from the pit. As you might imagine, I'm going to have Smoking Joe's, at least Woody and Shane. I'm hoping to have Fox and Tony on, but I'm not sure if they have fully committed. I know they have, but sometimes things happen. I'm having Backyard Battlefield. They're coming on. I hit someone else too. But it will culminate the week. Delta 17, the guys from Delta 17, Steve, Ken, Wilhelm, and I think I asked Emerald Knight. If I didn't, I meant to. They all work the booth. They all help work the booth. I want to have them. And it's all going to culminate with the week before Joe Fest. And that is Baldy, Tony's Figs, the Circle of Jerks, along with kind of like, we have like kind of two honorary members of the Circle of Jerks, but Bobby B will be on. I'm just trying to bring on something different. Bring in a completely different way of doing things, not all the time, because I've said this before, and we're going to talk obviously about again the five faces of punk, and that's all the shows that I do or different things that I do. I have way too many people compliment me on Thursday with the Friend. It is not my most popular show, probably other than Punk Spit, probably my least popular show. This is the one I'm most proud of, and I really like bringing the different people on, getting to know people, letting other people get to know the people in the community. I don't care what anyone says. No one else is doing it. Everyone else, and I don't care who the fuck they are, they want to bring on someone big. They want to pump, try and bump their numbers by bringing on some, and that's fine. That's not what I wanted to do. I always wanted to bring in like people that have supported me. That's the whole purpose of it. So it is the thing that I am the most proud of. Okay. That's kind of that. Also, next week is a special Thursday with the Friend. We're going to leave it at that. Stay tuned for that. All right. Woo! I'm listen, when you do this on your own, you got to take a breath. You don't have someone else speaking for you. Anyway, so I do want to mention, please, if you're not, or follow me on Instagram, like the pictures, hit the little heart, even if it's not G.I. Joe. Somehow I get these bonuses. And when I say I get bonuses, I get literally 5 to 15 cents per picture, depending on how much. But as it grows and you get more followers, I'm hoping, again, go from making $5 a month to $15, $20. Again, everything goes back in, and all you have to do is hit the like. It's the easiest way to support the channel. So please, if you're not following me on Instagram, please do. Only follow me if like I give you pictures and stuff that you enjoy. If you don't enjoy the stuff that I put out, don't bother. I tell people, like, I don't do the follow for follow. I've never been into that. If you have content that I enjoy, that I think that I'm going to like, I'm going to follow you. I'm not going to follow someone back just because they followed me. I'm assuming you're following me because you enjoy what I'm putting out there. Just like that's the reason why I follow whoever that I do. We have Loki Model Misfit. He's jumping in here. And then there's a Facebook group, Punks with Toys. Tony and I have talked about it. Tony's like, we need to promote this more. So please, if you're on Facebook, there's no politics in it. There's no AI bullshit. We've gotten rid of the AI. Like, just if you want AI, you can go elsewhere. Everyone seems to have it in all the Facebook groups. There's no politics, no religion, nothing like that. Sometimes we have some fun memes. I post my reviews. You are more than welcome to post your reviews. Do not post other people's stuff. That is the one. And what I mean by that, I mean, don't post other people's reviews. Don't post other people's live streams. If you're part of the community and you want to post something that you're going to do, you are more than welcome to. If it goes, if it goes against the policy, then, we'll remove it or let you know. But it is, again, I post all my stuff there. And before anyone says, why do you get to post yours? Well, first off, it's mine. So I can post whatever the fuck I want. But the big thing about it is there are like 3 questions. There are like 3 questions. And it's like, do you agree to the rules? What is your favorite line, modern or vintage? I think those are the 3 questions. I can't tell you how many fucking people will try and join and not answer it. And some of the names I recognize, but you automatically get the no, because the whole point of that is to eliminate as many bots as possible, or people that don't really want to come in there. They just want to join for some weird reason. I don't get it. But if you're going to join, and I really want, I think we're at 800 people now. Tony probably knows better than I do. We're around 800 people, and I could open it up, but I don't want that, because then you're going to get a whole bunch of like people that could care less about what we're talking about in there. So please do that and just answer the questions. And as the question, Tony says, questions, like, it's really easy. It really is. No, that is one thing that, like, again, I think in almost every G.I. Joe group, when someone posts something from Viper Island, they pretty much just blast him. Tony says 827 members. And again, there's no reason why we shouldn't have well over 1,000. But it is because people won't answer the damn questions. And I can only tell you how many people I deny. Matthew tells me he denies almost every single person because they don't answer it. Tony tells me, so I don't see, like, we don't see when each other, like, it's not like, oh, there's one hanging on, he denied it. It's not like a second person has to deny it. We just deny them. So again, just not that hard. Cooking with Eric jumping in here saying it's the only place I post pictures of my toy stuff. And that's what it's there for. To post the stuff that, your pictures, ask, decent questions. Decent questions. If you're, I don't care what group it is. I've repeated this numerous times. I don't care what group it is. If you have a dumb question, if you have a question, how about this? If you have a question, maybe you don't realize it's dumb, but if you have a question, you're already on this thing. More than likely, you're on this thing, right? You're already there. Before you type it out and ask a community and fill our feeds up with your question, you already have the device. Go to Google. Type it in there. Maybe Google will give you the answer. And if Google gives you the answer, you don't have to waste everyone else's time in filling up their feeds. And I know people are like, what's the big deal? The big deal is the feeds are just filled. It's like the AI bullshit. If I have to see one more of like, would you buy this? Like, we buy all the classified shit. Yeah, we'd buy it. You've done no work. And look, clearly, here I come in, I'm bitching about the AI. And here this guy is, Lonzo Wilkinson, who does wonderful, wonderful actual customs, and I will constantly tell you that. I will constantly praise your stuff, just like I'll praise Tony and Gun Bunny Customs and Johnny and everyone, right? It's one of those, it's one of those crazy things, right? Like, AI, there's no real work being done. And I think AI has a purpose for it. So before anyone gets mad at me and they want to bolt because I'm insulting AI, there is a purpose for AI. But it's not to constantly give like, hey, would you buy this figure? It look like, and then people say, well, classified team does the same thing. No, they don't. They give you the digital renders of what they're actually making. If you give me a digital render and then you're like, hey, this is the digital render of what I'm customizing, I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not really going to be mad at you anyway. I just pass it by. Anyway, that's it. Now, Tony says he just approved 4 people. So again, if you're on Facebook, Punks with Toys, please go there and post your pictures. If you do customs, like Lonzo, you do customs, man, feel free to post it because you do absolutely wonderful stuff. And again, if you're on Instagram and you enjoy what I'm doing, please hit the little heart button every time you see it. Like any pictures, just hit the heart button. It doesn't have to be G.I. Joe to like it. Anyway, well, it is time for some toy news. But I got to say this. After all of that, I definitely need to I need a breather.
And now back to Cobra News Now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have received word that our field correspondent, Scrap Iron, is on scene at Mars Industries, and he has interviewed a few eyewitnesses and forwarded those statements over to us as he tries to get closer for a better vantage point on the fire. So let's take a listen to these eyewitness statements and see if we can discover what has happened here tonight.
All right, so I'm out here just ripping this mini ramp that's made by Mars Industries. Don't ask, I don't understand why they sponsored it. But anyway, I hear this huge explosion, and I hear all these people yelling and screaming that this thing's on fire, and they tell me to call 911, so I call 911. We got the ESU police here, and we got the firefighters, and wait a minute, don't you work for Mars Industry and the Iron Grenadiers too?
Oh yeah, that's a wicked fire, eh? Good bonfire for burning the moose on. Kind of reminds me, it reminds me of the one that we did at Justin Bieber every year at Stratford Festival. Just as much smoke, big flame. We do that to keep Sasquatch away. What'd you do yours for, eh?
Yeah, how you doing? I was walking down the street, hanging out, minding my own business. About to sit down on the park bench here and just enjoy my meal here. I got a nice little delicious lunch made by my wife, my lovely wife. She's a great cook. Sometimes not the best, but listen. We all suffice, right? And I'm sitting here on the bench about to open up my lunch box after a long day of working with construction workers. If you haven't noticed, I got this hard hat on, right? And I'm sitting here chilling. And next thing you know, I smell burning. And I go, what is that? And then the explosion, the loud, boom! I'm like, oh, what the hell was that? What's going on? You sound like Aaron Judge cracked a home run. I'm freaking out. I look up, and Mars Industries is on fire. And I'm like, yo, what the hell is this? The building just blew up. It's on fire now. And no one can have any answers. Nobody has any answers. Next thing you know, the fire shows up. The cops show up. Nobody knows what's going on. But damn things for sure, that building blew up. Now listen, I ain't no conspiracy theorist, but I'll tell you this. The owner of that building, he wears a metal helmet. Who's wearing a metal helmet? Just to do business. Something don't smell right. You understand what I'm saying? That building, that was an inside job. You can quote me on that. Thank you for having me on the news. I've never been on the news before. This is fantastic. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And before we go, I want to shout out some people. My man Shane, my man Woody, my man Mike. I appreciate you all. Take it easy, guys. I appreciate you. I'm on the freaking news right now. This is fantastic.
Well, that was certainly something. So let's see if we can check back in with Scrap Iron and see if he's been able to locate Destro or the Baroness, find out the cause of this fire. Over to you, Scrap Iron. Scrap Iron. Scrap, are you there? Looks like we might be having some technical difficulties, and oh my God. Oh, I'm going to have to go over there now.
All right, so quickly, I just want to say, if you're not following Darren 3-Star Draw, please go over, subscribe to his channel, watch his new series that he's doing. I think you're going to get, it's funny. The one kicked off with Spirit. You're really going to like it, I think. I liked it. I thought it was funny. Anyway, I just saw this. Dominic Johnson says, "Wow, I just saw Ronda Rousey is in AEW now. She sucked in WWE, and now she can suck over there." I get a kick out of sometimes when I see a comment that really has like it serves no real purpose with anything that we're talking about. It's just like, wow, Ronda Rousey's over there. She's I gotta say, I probably won't be watching it, but I definitely I know she is fighting the American Gladiator. I can't think of her name. I don't think the American Gladiator is gonna win, but I am so rooting for her, and I don't know why I can't think of her name. So I do know who it is. I just cannot think. Gina, that's it. Thank you. Ronda and Gina is coming soon. Gina is way bigger. Yeah, but I think Gina's gonna get her ass beat. I'm rooting for her, but I think she's gonna get her ass beat. But I'm hoping that she wins. No Jin jumping in here saying hi all. All right, so quickly understand this. I was not going to throw away the slides that I spent 2 hours doing last week, so I've just added some. I just added some. So, but quickly before we start, Dominic Johnson jumping in here, becoming a channel member, so you get the
welcome to the creamery.
Thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. And yes, there will be a Punk's Pit this Friday. If you don't know what a Punk's Pit is, it's basically a smorgasbord of a few channel members. Matthew's usually on. Matthew's always on, unless he has something going on. Viper Scout, my other moderator, Ed. Darren sometimes graces us with his presence. Tony. So I usually have a specific group of guys. It's all for channel members. So please please tune in if you're subscribed. And Clint quickly here says, sadly, Gina will lose. Ronda is more in shape and will bring it to the ground. I don't know if she's more in shape because Gina has gotten really good shape. With that said, she's just a better fighter. She's just a better fighter. And Dominic says, thanks for these Mondays. We all greatly I greatly appreciate you guys tuning in because, again, without all of you, I'm just talking to myself. So, but anyway, all right. So we do have the Holothon coming. If you are interested, usually the Holothon goes for like 4 weeks, 4 Fridays at Target. For the most part here, I think this is all NECA stuff. Sometimes you'll get a spattering of a few other things, but they're not showing off anything. Now, this just might be NECA, the NECA spot this time. I don't really know. We do know there are some G.I. Joe classifieds coming. So there's at least 2 packs. One I know is a Target exclusive. So, but this is what they're coming. So just be on the lookout for it. Masters of the Universe again. Some of this stuff is from last week. So here is the Skeletor. This is not the Chronicles. I have a hard time finding Master Universe info. So we do have this Beastman. Now, I put both of these in because these are both, from my understanding, supposed to be coming to the Collector Con at Walmart, which is on Thursday and Friday, I believe. I don't know why they do both days, but they drop some stuff on Thursday. They drop some other stuff. So if you want like a classic 7-inch Beastman, here you have it. I know there's a few people that are a little upset about it. I'm not upset, but I feel like people feel that MOTU drops, they do different types of figures of the same character, but again, everyone does it. But it seems like if you want one style, people kind of get a little aggravated. Now, I can tell you that the other Masterverse, Deluxe Beastman, which I actually got on clearance at Target when we went to Florida a few years ago, is a wonderful, wonderful figure. So, but if you are interested, I believe this all goes up this week. And then we have Joe RH, who will be my guest on Thursday, saying that Skeletor is what happens when you are only allowed to use 4 colors. Yeah, pretty much. But again, that from my understanding is from the lower price line for the kids. So hopefully that's true. Again, Hayatmi says he's so horny. yes, he is. All right. But if you're interested, I do think this looks good. Now, the Masterverse is shifting over to, from my understanding, it is shifting over to Mattel Creations. Now they're moving over to the Chronicles. Again, they're just trying to, I don't know. It's weird how they're all trying to do things. All right. Now, we talked about Samurai He-Man before. And I had to put him on just because, like, does he have ice skates on, or are these like super jumpy shoes? And I think we asked the same question when I had on the original. This is Origins, I think, part of the 200X. Correct me if I'm wrong. But again, I still don't understand exactly. He's a cross-country ski He-Man. He skates. Yes, they're moon boots. I mean, I don't understand, like, and again, this has to go back to something, but this here, it's like, yeah, it's something. Hayasmi says, Samurai, this makes me laugh every time. I don't get how he's Samurai He-Man either. He already wields a sword. I don't know what samurais wear ice skates. But yeah. Matthew says they are the power boots from the Super Mario Bros. Movie from the 80s. Grizzle Warren jumping in here saying He-Man on Ice He-Man. It's one of those things. So Dan says that is Samurai He-Man from a specific 200X episode. And again, I just don't understand. I just don't understand. I don't understand it. But hey, if you want it, get it. It's the loincloth. Again, if you want it, it's there for you to get and have fun with. And Odin01 jumping in saying, is his sheath on the correct side though? I didn't want to ask it. I knew somebody would. So Matthew, is he sheathing the sword on the proper side? She-Man says, we need Samurai Jack to kick his ass. All right. So this popped up, and this was, man, hold on. So this had popped up again. This is from 2 weeks ago. Just remember that, or from last week. This is the first of the Chronicles. It literally tells you inaugural edition. I don't know why I'm showing you. Right there, it says inaugural edition. He was the only one on the shelves. I did not think that I was going to have him a week later, but there he was. He's actually a pretty good figure. Now, he only comes with 2 sets of hands, and he comes with his weapon, which I still don't know what it is. I don't know what it's called. Someone can correct me. I'm sure someone's already corrected me in the video, because I'm like, I don't know if it's a staff, an axe, or whatever it is. I'm sure Matthew knows the proper name to it. And then here is Dead Man Juan saying, what up, people? again, thank you so much for joining me last Thursday. If you haven't watched the show, his episode, please go watch it. Not right now. Watch it later on while you're working. That is really a show that is meant to be listened to more than anything. It is called a Hellbird. Thank you very much. I will never remember that. Graf says a punk with MOTU toys. The other thing about this figure, and I'm going to tell you, so they make it look like everything glows. So if you're not going to watch my review, and you should, only his head glows, and it does glow pretty well. The other thing that it says in here, it says it has deluxe articulation. The articulation is not much better than a Masterverse. It is not close to, I would say, classified. Nowhere near a Savage Crucible. Still better than a Mythic Legion. But it was. And again, thank you so much. I love doing the show. And again, it's great getting to know so many new people and everything. All right. But I have a feeling this is going. They were smart to start off with this figure. But okay, what I was actually trying to point out here is they make it look like underneath his arms, it glows. And unless I missed something when I hit the UV light, there was no glow there. But now I want to go hit. I don't have the UV light up here. It's downstairs. Now I want to go find out if I just didn't hit the UV light and on his elbows. But I think you guys can see, like, it looks like his elbows are supposed to glow. But I can tell you that the flame definitely does not glow at all. So, but he is highly articulated. There is not a wired cape, so they were definitely using an air gun to blow the cape there. All right, and then these popped up and went right up for pre-order over the weekend. Massiverse the Cartoon Collection, and I have to say, remember these are built on a 5.5-inch scale. If you wouldn't have told me that these were Origins, I would have had no idea. These look amazing. Now, we no longer have the Squatty Potty, but like this merman looks great. Yes, they are single jointed, everything, but they are, they're a cheaper price point. They are meant to go with your Origins or even your original figures. You can make them work. You can still do the Squatty Potty. These look amazing. Like the detail in this, there's not a lot of paint. I get that, but his trident, his corn sword, they just look really good. And when you look at this, I didn't realize this was Origins, and when I read it, I would not have known this was Origins. We get Orko, which once again does not give you that vibe of Orko at all. You get a much different look to him. I like the fact that he has this nice stand. I don't understand why no one has put the wheel in him like we had in the original one. I don't think the Origins one had it. No, it just popped onto it. But yeah, like they did a good job. Roboto, I don't know what Roboto this is. I believe this is from 200X. This looks nothing like the Roboto that we know. This looks more like the ED203, whatever the bad RoboCop is. And again, I think with some paint, you could probably make this fit in with your, classified bats or something like that. Doing a better paint job, not making it look not as cartoonish. But then this one, I gotta say, this, ED209. That's what I was thinking. Thank you. Yeah, and Dan says that merman looks really good. The Roboto, and I think the Roboto looks good, but I don't see. I don't know what that's from. Like I've never seen it before. So Garaf says, can't wait to see your 200X origin stuff now, punk. They do have a Moss Man waiting for you. I'm looking at Moss Man right now. So this Tila here looks amazing. The fact that this is built on those 5.5-inch bucks, very minimal paint for the most part, but the sculpt is so good. And I have talked about this, that when they went over and started, all those origins started going over to Mattel Creations, you really started getting these wonderful face sculpts. You started getting better detail in them. And I've been super impressed. And I am really impressed with what I got here. So I don't collect this stuff, contrary to what Graf thinks, that he's going to get a bunch of MOTU. A bunch of MOTU reviews. I won't be, but I think she looks great. Gun Bunny Custom saying erectile dysfunction 209. Josh, you're not the only one that hears ED and automatically thinks of all those fucking commercials. And anyone that's like me that doesn't pay for the non-commercials for Disney Plus and soon to be Prime, all these other ones. Man, you get so many of these medicine ones, and there's a lot of erectile dysfunction. So anyway, these are the new origin ones. They are up on Entertainment Earth, BBTS, and how they're probably already sitting in stores. McFarlane Toys. This guy, he may not have the line much longer, but he is going to give you some stuff. So these are all shown off. We have a Joker. Again, I think the Joker looks good. This is where he's giving you some amazing sculpts. You still have giant pins that look stupid, but you have a pretty good looking Joker. This is just a repaint. We've seen it before. Tony, are you accepting of this? I know how you get it. She has an actual soft goods jacket, which looks good. His soft goods aren't that bad for sure. Yes, MC Armaza, Joker Eyes Joker, and then Tony is super excited, as I knew he would be. She looks like a Karen. Yeah. Now, she does have a regular face sculpt with the other figure. I don't know if this, because they only showed one shot of each of these. This is one of the Shazam brothers. I've seen the movie. Soft goods cape. He's just another Shazam. But you know what? If you want it, you can get it. I'm glad that he'll give you the stuff. I hope Mattel does the same thing for everyone that is collecting these off-the-wall characters. Let's see here. We have Asna Sketcher. I'm seriously going to get Sketcher. They just showed another of her face plates, and she looks like she had bomb. So they're face plates. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest. I did not. I didn't look today what came up other than the G.I. Joe stuff that's going on for pre-order. SCS Doc says crazy leg scare. I think that one's pretty good. Here you're going to get Lobo. He's made a couple pretty good Lobos. Why does Lobo have a dolphin? I'm 100% honest. I don't know. I know who Lobo is. I know he's like an intergalactic bounty hunter. He's supposed to be like super strong. Why does he have a dolphin? What is the purpose of him having a dolphin? I'm just wondering. Broby Kenobi says, I picked up the McFarlane Joker, Bane, and Christopher Reeves Superman today. I haven't opened them yet, but they look good. Sometimes figures are better left in the box. Sometimes he nails the stuff. And then sometimes when you get out, you're like, what the hell? Tony's Fig says, one of the Shazam brothers. That was hilarious. That's just how I remember them. I do remember that the sisters became super hot when they Shazammed up. I do remember that. Space Dolphins. All right. So I said Space Dolphins in my head the same way in Thor, where where the doctor is talking about Thor beating up all the guys and like, well, how do you do that? And he's like, steroids. He's a fitness nut. That's how I said Space Dolphins in my head. Space Dolphins. Tony Speak says because they are the only beings he loves. Is that true? Okay. In the comics, he has affection for space. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, Space Dolphins are Space Dolphins are real? Oh shit, dude. Come on. Damn it. Sometimes I wish some things were just a joke when hi, it's me says Space Dolphins are the only thing he's kind to, I think. So he has a redemption quality. Oh my God. I thought Space Dolphins was a joke. And then you have this Supergirl. If you want it, good for you. I could probably spend 20 minutes talking about the aesthetics of it. The big giant boots, the long legs, the short torso. You want to talk about a character? I mean, this figure, if you want it, great. It looks awful. But there you go. And then we have a cowboy. Everyone wants a cowboy. I'm sure he has something to do in the lore. But I don't know who he is. I didn't even bother looking. But there you go. Vigilante. Okay. I don't know who Vigilante is, but I take your word for it. He actually looks pretty good, to be honest. Like for a cowboy, I think we all agree, like we all really wish that McFarlane would have gone 6-inch scale because we could have done so much more with it because that is the basic, the basic size. I think when it comes to, let's say, NECA, people don't really care that much because some of this stuff is so off base that you wouldn't be doing anything with other than like, the Predators and the Aliens, right? Like that's the type of stuff that you're like, hey, they can be bigger. It doesn't really matter. All right. And he's not going out without giving us so many Batman. So here we go. I believe this is the Hush Batman. We'll see it. It does look good. He's got the soft goods cape. We have seen this buck more than once or twice. He comes with his little card. He comes with probably the worst stand ever. They don't stand on those things for shit. I do like the color scheme. You still can't get over the big giant pegs or pins. They are just there. I wish they wouldn't. I know the guy acts like he doesn't know. Oh my God, there's pinless, but there is. So here's your Batman. I'm sure someone will tell me if it's not the Hush Batman. Big teeth. He does have the big teeth, doesn't he? Big teeth Batman. We got Super Davin jumping in here saying that gotta take a crap face on Batman. And it doesn't look like it comes with any other head sculpt. So, but there you go. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Batman Justice League. And then we have this Batman here with a soft goods cape, which who wouldn't put his? I mean, who wouldn't put your utility belt around your trench coat? That's giant. But Batman would with his big Batman collar. Again, he dropped like 5 Batmen, and we forgot to talk about it in Circle of Jerks. So none of us cared. that's how much we didn't care. Payne's Toy Sample jumping in saying, "Hey kids, oh look, I've been waiting for the 300th Batman this month from Toddy Mac." Yep, and you got it. But don't worry, there's only so much longer. M. Hatfield says, "Do you think there are more Batman or Batman?" There's more Batman. Remember, when it comes to like Marvel Legends will do they'll do Spider-Man. They'll do a wave of Spider-Man. And like, hey, this is a wave of Spider-Man, right? And then they trinkle some in here and there. There's almost always a Spider-Man. There's no doubt. You never know how many Batman he's going to drop and how many color variants he's going to drop. Anyone else? Are you going to think, are there more Batman or are there more Spider-Man? You know what? We can do a quick poll on that because, well, I haven't put a poll up. So let's do we're going to start a poll. We're going to say, are there more? I should probably spell that wrong. Are there more Batman or Spider-Man figures? All right, here we go. I'm gonna let you guys decide on it. Batman, and then we have, that is not right. Thank you guys for dealing with me. Are there more Batman or Spider-Man figures? Start the poll. You guys vote. You tell me. I personally think there's going to be more Batman, but hey, some of you guys have been in this way longer than I have, so we'll find out really shortly. Anyway, now this one looks like it has a wired cape, and again, I will once again say Marvel Legends, if you guys are watching, soft goods capes. If McFarlane can do it, so can you. Joe Fan 84 jumping in here. Great to see you. Hope work was good for you. Hi, it's me, sis. AI answer. Why? Come on, don't make me count that crap. Hey, it gives me a good idea of how many people are actually here, are watching, who comes in, because people will vote in a poll, but they won't hit that like button. There's already 25 votes. There's only 61 likes. That's all I got to say about that. So here's everything that he does come with. Again, if you're interested in another Batman, it's there for you. But wait, there's more. There's a purple Batman, because I've always wanted a purple Batman with a skull on it. Who is purple Batman? Is he a purple lantern? Because I know we have at least a lantern Batman coming up. So this is Batman Injustice Gang. So I've always been like, sometimes I'd wake up in a cold sweat. I need a purple Batman. But now I can have one. I'm sure it was in the comic somewhere. But if you need a purple Injustice Batman, there you go. Tristan T says Alfred put Catwoman's suit in the wash with the bat suit. um, and then we have the White Lantern Batman, because another one I'm like, man, I need a white. And look at this. This is, I mean, look at this right now, and then go, are you not entertained? I mean, he is truly doing the gladiator speech right here. And that is exactly what I thought of when I was doing this. Who is, oh yeah, Tripping with Toys says Purple Rain Batman. And now we have White Batman. The White Lantern. He is yelling. He is mad. Again, I don't know who wants this or who needs this. If you do, great. It is the one thing that I will say. I like the fact that Mattel, for their origins, they're giving you these deep cuts, and McFarlane gives you the option for these deep cuts. I don't know who buys them. I really don't. But somebody is, or he wouldn't continue to make the stuff. There, believe it or not, and Tony can attest to this, there are actual Facebook groups dedicated to McFarlane. I know. I had no idea. Anyway, there you go. If you need it, there you go. The Arctic Attack Batman. Woo! All right, Super 7. Why'd I have Super 7 on here? Remember, some of this stuff is from what was supposed to go up last week. Yes. The Thundercats Ultimate Wave 15. And for the low price of $280, you can get these fully non-articulated statues that probably won't have proper paint. They barely move. They are more like a statue. But for the low price of $280, you can get all four of them. So we have Jagara. She is now $64.99. And remember, when everything happened with the tariffs and stuff, Super 7 said, listen, we are not ripping people off enough at $55. We are raising our base prices to $65. Now, again, $64.99 across the board. Or you can just wait a year and BBTS and Entertainment Earth will have them for like $15. It's up to you. It depends on how bad you want these. But I can guarantee you that those two sites will have them marked down because they're like, we need space in the warehouse for whatever new G.I. Joe shit's coming in because people will actually buy that. But anyway, I don't know who she is. Here's everything she comes with, which isn't very much. A few hands, an extra head sculpt. She comes with the Sword of Omens collapsed. And then she comes with her, is that a scepter? I don't know what it is. And then she comes with her ice bolt. She looks decent, but I have no idea what she is. Tristan C says, isn't that Rita from Power Rangers? Now that you say it, yes. But I would say, isn't Rita her from... Because I would assume she was before Rita. But... yeah. Joe Fan says, what's that in the top left? That is the magic wand, I believe is what they call it. This one looks like it is probably plugs into a USB, so it has a rechargeable battery. I'm just throwing it out there. That's what I think it might be. So here she is. I believe they've removed... I mean, they've raised the price. They've taken away, I believe, the cover, so you no longer get the cover. That's what someone was saying. That's all I know. Stu for Lunch says, bring your own batteries. Highest Me says, so did every character that made an appearance in Thundercats get a $50 figure? Smart decision. First off, it was 55 and now 65. Please get your pricing right. SCS Dog says, paging Thanos Copter, paging Mr. Thanos Copter. We have a magic wand for you. No, he's got to wait. Again, he's got to wait. And then he'll pick it up on clearance and be like, I had to get this. All right. Mumra Old Man. Again, $64.99. Because we're going to use less plastic. But we're not going to charge you less. Don't worry about that. We don't want to fool you. Now, he has 4 sets of hands. He has a 9th hand that already looks like it has some sort of, magic coming out. He has his Havoc staff, and then he has his mummy head. Again, less plastic does not mean we charge you less. But when you have a bigger plastic, you better believe we're going to charge you more. So there you go for that. Then we got Wizra. Isn't Rizra one of the Wu-Tang Clan? I'm not a rap guy. All right, I'm a punk rocker. Isn't Rizra one of the Wu-Tang Clan? Anyway, $64.99. This one was hinted at. By hinted, I mean they literally showed it. As you can see, he has a few hands. I do like the fact that they're actually just giving you a hand with the effects on it, so you don't have to worry about them getting knocked off. That I do appreciate. And if the figures look like this, then okay, I can give them that because they do a wonderful job of showing you what they're supposed to look like. Unfortunately, sometimes when they come out, you get Andre the Giant, you get the Green Power Ranger, you get G.I. Joe faces that aren't painted, and Brian Flynn says, yeah, we know we didn't paint them, but they look good enough, so we aren't going to do shit for you. That's exactly how the guy says shit, too. Well, he doesn't say, we're not going to do shit for you, but his words were, yeah, we know they're not painted, but they look good enough, so we're not going to do anything. That's why I say, fuck you. Super Devin says, Rizra was the blind master from the second jet. Sounds close. But there you go. Where's the burning bush? That's the closest you're going to get to a religious take on here. All right. But don't worry. You were like, wow, these figures are only $65. Thank God they didn't. Oh, that's right. Zach's is $85 because just because we have a figure that has less plastic doesn't mean that we can charge you less. But if a figure has more plastic, you better believe that we're going to charge you $20 more. Not even 10, 5, 20 fucking dollars for a statue. All right, so this is Zach's. Who's Zach's, you say? I have no idea. $15 an arm. So you get lots of hands. You have 2 head sculpts. And then you have accessories. I don't know what the hell those things are. But there you go. If you want this. But again, you can buy the whole set. Now, going back to here, I want you to understand. If you order the whole set for $280, you don't get a discount. Super 7 doesn't say, hey, you order all 4. Listen, you're going to get a price break, right? Like, we're like Costco, man. We're going to give you, no. You're going to pay the exact same price. But don't worry, because if you order all of them only through us, we're going to give you this extra head pack. Yep. You're going to get an extra head for each figure because we want to say thank you, but we really don't want to cut the cost. We're just going to throw in these head sculpts that will probably be with other figures anyway. But again, if you are into this, then by all means, go get it. Don't worry about, a dumb fuck like me making jokes about it. Although we do enjoy Super 7 allowing us to make jokes about them. All right, on to some NECA. Friday the 13th, the game. I showed these off. Well, I showed the 3 Jason figures off. Now we actually got the solicitations. They're pretty much all the exact same figures. They're pictures, just different angles. So here's his other head sculpt with his axe. Here's a different angle. Here's a different angle with the mask on. There's a different angle. I don't think this guy's going to have very good articulation. All right. Now they're usually pretty, again, Jason is pretty much, he's kind of a robot walking. NECA is not known for having the greatest plastic, although they've gotten better. They're not known for having the greatest articulation. I will say they normally have really good accessories. He does not. They give him an axe and hands. Like, there's nothing else. Like, come on. Like, this is just one of those things where, yeah, and Super Dabbin here says he looks stiff. He does. He looks like a statue. Like, all right, we're going to let you move the hands. It's one of those things where it'd be nice if you did, again, in NECA, you have a lower price point, but even you're starting to get up there. It's time that, like NECA, 4 Horsemen, get with the times. I'm not even talking about Super 7 because they are what they are. That company is going to go. I believe I think it's in the toy collector. I still haven't read through it. I believe they got another loan out. Just to eventually file bankruptcy, probably. Shockwave jumping in here saying, but he's just the shape, pretty much. Pretty much. All right, Marvel Legends. I put this up because they went up for pre-order last week, so they were just in here. They were in here, so they got put in. These are all sold out now. I would say keep checking. These are Pulse exclusives. Keep checking for them. This is going to be one that I think is just going to go up in price. People want these figures. And it all depends on how Hasbro decides whether or not they're going to order too many, because they don't like getting stuck with stuff that goes on clearance. This is one that everyone seemed to be really happy about. Other than the people that didn't get it, and they're like, no one really wanted that anyway. yeah, we know. The people that didn't get it because it sold out never really wanted it. Quickly, Cobweb jumping in here, a member for 23 months. So you get the
fucking Phil Collins.
I think Cobb just showed up to be like, probably came in here to curse me because I got the new Chronicles Scareglow and got a review up before he did. I don't know, maybe he got it up. I only saw one other review. If you're not following Cobweb on YouTube and you are into MOTU, you need to follow him because he does a wonderful, wonderful job. So anyway, this is Muse. He's bloodied up, which I think he needs to. I only know Muse from the Daredevil show, but I think he looks badass. And he can work with Cobra. He can work with, obviously, Marvel Legends or just photography in general. Then we got Bullseye. And this is a perfect Cobra agent if you don't want to use them for Marvel Legends. Cobweb says, yeah, I need to send that to me. They had like 6 of them. So I don't think he's going to be difficult. I was shocked to see him at Walmart. I mean, I just walked in and it was just sitting right there. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right? But yeah. Now this here, again, if you're one of those people that have an issue with the G.I. Joe Classified not having the actual weapons and you have the Cobra Trooper, Marvel Legends makes that Cobra Trooper weapon, that Dragunov, right here. This is going to be the closest thing I think you're going to get to a Dragunov. I know Top Fun Toys has one, but it is so long that it is hard. You can only pose the figures in certain ways and make them look good. I got a couple good pictures a while back, but you have to look at the size of the weapon to make it work properly. So, but yeah. And here we have Daredevil fighting, which I think they did a great job here. Basically showing you that Daredevil that is, that from Secret Wars, I think. So here's the 2-pack. We got Muse and Bullseye, everything, all the stuff that is bloody. An extra face sculpt. So if you want to use that different head for Bullseye, and again, perfect for G.I. Joe Classified or Cobra, shall I say. But yeah. Billy Boy's Toy says, yeah, if this is a Pulse exclusive, I'm definitely not getting it. Why not? Shockwave says, I only know Muse as a shitty pop star. Oh, it's not blood, just paint. Yes, but isn't the paint mixed with blood? I really don't know. Viper Scout says, I once got a dragon off in a D&D campaign. You know what? Tune in this Friday for Punk's Pit, and we are going to remember to ask Viper Scout about getting off a dragon. Hold on. I'm writing it down. Ask Viper Scout about getting a dragon off. Someone remind me to ask him. Because even though I wrote it down, I forget, but look, it's right there now. Right there. Woo! Okay, and then this Emma Frost Target exclusive also went up for $27.99. Is this in her diamond form? I don't think she's going to be much different. I think it's the same buck that Emma Frost comes with. That is a pain in the ass to stand. Like this is not a real stance that she's in. I'm just saying that right now. She can't really move her arms because it's not soft goods. That is where, like, hey, you guys got to start using some soft goods, especially for figures like this. This impedes everything in. No one wants a Super 7 figure. That's why they are $15 in a year at BBTS and Entertainment Earth. I do believe that she is still available, or at least she was. You get the X book, you get her calendar, the hands. At least she has one hand that you can actually hold things. 2 different crystallized heads. So I did order this. My Marvel Legends. My Marvel Legends collection has grown tremendously. We'll just say that. Gareth says, it's an action figure, not a doll. I think I called it an action figure. All right. So here's what it looks like, or here's what she looks like. Again, I like the crystallized head and everything. It's something unique. It's different. All right. Oh, I threw this in here. So the Frazetta girls dropped these. These are available on BBTS. I don't know if they're available anywhere else. I know I've seen them on BBTS. And the fact is, they look really good. Now, these are done by Fire and Ice. Now, please, Matthew, Ed, you guys can fill me in. At least the male looks a lot like a Savage Crucible figure. So I don't know if they're using those bucks and they're going under a different name. These look awesome. And again, I do follow fantasy lines. Obviously, I just got like the Scareglow. You've seen, I recently got a few Savage Crucibles. I still collect some Mythic Legions. Okay, so Ed says, nope, they're a different company. Because I couldn't see anything, I didn't see anything that had to do with Savage Crucibles, which I can't think of what their parent name is. But these look good. Now they're, I think, $85 each. I didn't put it in there. I was kind of in a rush yesterday. It does come with this Panther, I think it is. These are awesome. But yeah. Okay, so Matthew says these have poor articulations. They're larger than Savage Crucible, way too expensive. I love when Matthew gets on his high horse. If you don't know, Matthew is he's a Savage Crucible honk. Is that safe to say? It doesn't matter if it's safe to say. I just said it. Again, I've never had them in hand, and I've never really seen anything on them. I'm just looking at them aesthetically. They look like they're Savage Crucibles, and they are expensive. They are expensive, and anytime that you have something that is that expensive that you don't have knowledge of, you're weary of picking it up. I know there's a lot of people that are weary about getting like Mezco, but there are so many things on Mezco, so many different reviews. You should be able to make a pretty good decision if you want to spend $100 on that figure. These are re-releases or version 2. Hopefully they fix the fragile joints. So that is Andrew Taylor saying that. So there, I guess there's some stuff out there. Again, it does look good, but I got to say, if there's multiple people talking about how they're, the fragile joints, the articulation isn't good, it is scary to buy something that's going to be, $85. So there you go. If you are interested, you can pick it up. You do have this, again, the girl comes with this, Panther or whatever it is. And look at Troy here, 3D Trooper, saying these look great. I agree. Now, Matthew's saying a lot of people have been happy with them, but there are too many negatives for me. And I admittedly do not know anything about them. I saw them kind of pop up. I saw the price point. I have heard of them, obviously. And, Frazetta, their name goes so far when it comes to a lot of this type of stuff. So, but here's everything that you're going to get. So you're going to get two different hair pieces. It looks like 3 different faces. You're going to get multiple heads for the Panther, her spear to chuck at the Panther. I don't know why. I think it's her friend. There's got a different top that goes on her. So you do get some good stuff with it. He comes with all of this. Now, again, if there's negatives because it's fragile, they don't articulate well, then it's disappointing. If these are good, and I'm going to go back to Savage Crucibles, where they're meant like, if they're like Savage Crucibles where they have really good joints, then they're worth the price. Although Savage Crucibles are at such a good price point for everything that you get in the articulation. So, and quickly here, let's do this here.
Welcome to the Creamery.
G.I. Jetman became a YouTube channel member. Thank you very much. All right. Mr. Madga says, that kind of money for single joints, nah, I'm out. Now, again, this is where, when you talk about money, this is where certain things weigh out different things. And I'm talking about, like, let's say, again, I've kind of crapped on a lot of stuff for Horsemen have done recently because I think their articulation is poor. But you do know that when you buy, like, I'm not saying you, in general, when you buy a 4 Horseman figure, you're not buying it for articulation. You are buying it for the sculpt, the paint, the accessories. They have okay articulation. I don't even want to say if they have decent. They have okay articulation, not like what we should have today. And I don't care about breaking the aesthetics. There comes a time if they decided back in the 80s, hey, we're not going to break the aesthetics, no G.I. Joe figure would have had swivel arm battle grip. None of them would have had heads that moved. If people didn't want to break the articulation now, O-rings wouldn't have swivel wrists, which is a game changer when it comes to O-ring figures. So I do think that companies need to go, hey, you know what? We can break articulation. We're not driving leaded gas cars anymore or carbureted cars because things change. So anyway. Woo! All right. On to some G.I. Joe. Again, some of this is from last week, remember. And yes, if I had to see this, you all needed to see it. I know. Right now, many of you are going, oh my God, my eyes, take it off here. No, you all have to see it. You should have had sunglasses on. Maybe it wouldn't have burned your retinas out. Anyway, this is a Target exclusive. If you see it at Target, just fucking leave it there because it looks like shit. Anyway, if you want a Tiger Force, Snake Eyes, and O-ring form, now is your chance. Gun Bunny, I have a feeling it's probably gonna come because normally the stuff that they have coming, they're doing in classified for sure. 80s Joy saying no. Oh look, and even I wish you guys would have put your sunglasses on because you truly burnt out your retinas here. Pop Blender jumping in here saying, and just think, had it not been for the ninja movies in the early 80s, we wouldn't have gotten Kung Fu Battle grip hands on G.I. Joe figures. Possibly. Super Devin says, I think he meant no love, Ninja Force, Snake Eyes. What in the actual dude? Again, not everything needs to be Tiger Force. And Viper Scout says, well, I never hear him complain over the outfits he gets. Didn't I hear that Snake Eyes now talks in the comic? Okay. Woo. All right. That's off. Going up tomorrow for pre-order, probably I think at 1 p.m. This is a mainline figure. I don't know the price. I'm guessing this is $60. If Chris from the Full Force has said what it is, please in the comments. But I think that because the the pet companions used to be $55, everything went up like $5. So this is Professor Rotclaw and the Cobra Dinosaur. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. And you can enunciate it, and you can say that I'm not gonna do it. But anyway, this goes up. I know some of you right now are going, I don't want dinosaurs. I didn't have this. Like, there's so many people that are pissed off that they're not getting exactly what we had in the 80s, but they're giving us new characters and new figures. And if you are giving me a small raptor dinosaur, then cool, because I can use it on all kinds of things. All right. If you're a Marvel Legends fan, you got your Savage Land stuff right there. All right. Quickly here, Cal Shave says both are $59.99. That's what I thought. Thank you very, very much. And Cooking with Eric says Lenny is posting about the dinosaur right now. Oh, no wonder why no one's watching me right now. Lenny's posting shit. And look at this guy right here. Hold on. Let me find it for everyone. And Baldy Lock saying, screw that guy. Yeah, so here we are again. $60, everything went up. Am I going to get two of these? Probably. Do I know where I'm going to put two of these? I have no fucking clue. But again, they're dinosaurs. You can put a mask on them. The Professor Rotclaw. They did give you a helmet so he can be an army builder. That is smart right there, because that's something that we're going to do. What you're going to find not such a good idea with the next one we're going to be talking about here. Gun Bunny says, I really like the dino stuff. Going to make for some awesome vehicle customs. Dude, you know what? I think you're going to see a lot of people probably trying to do some sort of Jurassic Park, especially with all the stingers that people are finding for $30 at Ross. Oh, which I did find. I didn't even talk about my Ross find. I actually found a stinger for $30. Did I need another stinger? No. Was I going to buy another stinger for $30? Oh, hell yeah. Did I buy it? I did. And it's still sitting in the box. And I'm going to figure out something to do. With it, probably for the police force. Anyway. And Matthew is saying Dan Larson has Zanya and Rotclaw in hand already. Well, he kind of does work for Hasbro, so it's not shocking that he would get that sent to him. And like Triple D says, definitely 2. I think you gotta get at least 2. I mean, if you're a collector like us, if you're like, hey, I just need 1, that's fine. Now, I got to say, I looked at this and I was like, whoa, what character is that? Doesn't that look, it looks an awful lot. Now, I know who it is. It's the professor with his army building helmet on or whatever. It looks like one of the Iron Grenadier 4-inch figures. I think the machine gunner from the early 2000s, maybe early 2000s, I think, maybe late like 1999, maybe. Definitely. Graf says Yossi has joined G.I. Joe. That would be the G.I. Joe version one. Brute Squad Collectibles. I don't feel like I've ever seen you before. So
wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
$30 stinger and $200 of gridiron accessories. Hey, you know, people were buying them at $100 and buying $200 to $300 worth of gridiron accessories. I can't say I fully agree with people doing that, or hey, it's your money, do whatever you want. I reviewed most of them as Greg had bought so many of them. But a $30 stinger is much easier to stomach and putting all that accessories on over $100 one. And let's see, Rad Nom jumping in there saying, hey, and Nolan and Ed. Rad Nom is going to be on Thursday with a friend in 2 weeks, along with Ed and Matthew. And we're just going to leave it at that. All right. I couldn't stop laughing at this picture because I was like, all right, so did Shooting the Galaxy just say, all right, throw the dinosaur and we're going to take a picture? Now, you might laugh at that. There is an Instagrammer that literally takes the Real American Hero, Sky Striker, Night Raven, Rattler, Conquest. He throws them up and takes pictures, and they always catch them. Now, you don't ever see them, but it actually looks like they're flying. I feel like maybe they tossed this, and I wonder if that's what they did. How many pictures did it take before they got this? Because him jumping is kind of hilarious. It just makes me laugh. And here we have one attacking one of the troopers. Yeah, everything about this is cool. I mean, when I heard that there was going to be a dinosaur, you know, I was like, how are they going to make that work? But they've done so well when it comes to Cobra Law. I wasn't really too concerned that they wouldn't make it, that they wouldn't make it look good. So, and again, they finally got to reuse the bullwhip from Crocmaster. And here we have Not my Snake Eyes. That's how I'm going to do her review. Not my Snake Eyes. And then the rancher. I can't remember the rancher's name. Sundown, right? Is that right? Something like that. So here's everything that he does come with. It does come. So this is where you kind of see like molds are together. That is, if I'm correct, the same pistol that came with Crackmaster along with the bullwhip. We have the helmet or the second head that you can pop on. So you can create a different character in Army Builder. So when you're going to buy 3, 4, 5, there are going to be people that are going to buy multiple dinosaurs, more than 2 or 3. But yeah, so here's the box form. I'm ready. I'm not gonna lie. And there is the back. I don't see anything going on. I don't see if there are any Easter eggs. I'm not sure. 196. Can you believe we're at like 200 figures already? Yeah, see, Brute Squad of Collectibles, not your daddy's guys. Fred Nam says that figure is definitely on drugs. All right, so again, that is a mainline release. Zanya here is a fan channel, which means Amazon, Entertainment Earth, BBTS, Pulse, or your local toy store. You would not be able to find this at Walmart or Target. Pretty much anything fan channel means it goes anywhere except for Walmart and Target. GameStop, they're considered a fan channel store. So you can get this $60. This is where they screwed up. And I think we're going to see this. I think we'll see the chameleon again. You can't really make her an army builder. I know they gave her a mask, but you can't really make an army builder out of her. Lenny talked about how there is storage underneath the seat, so you can see that at least it looks like it can kind of fit the shotgun. I'm really questioning whether or not when you close that seat, if that shotgun with that stock collapsed is actually going to fit underneath it. You would hope so. You can see her glasses that are sitting right there. I've talked about this before. I won't be using this shotgun. I don't think that you should change the size of guns to fit a character. I'm a smaller person. With that said, I wouldn't grab a big gun. I would use something smaller because I have smaller hands, smaller statue. It was also pointed out that, hey, you know what? She may be one of those people that she is in a man's world and she's carrying this big shotgun so she can prove, hey, I carry a big fucking gun and I can take care of myself or I can take care of you. That's kind of how I'm thinking, but I have enough smaller weapons that she will be outfitted with. Anyway, Pop Blender says, honestly, I think the idea is stupid. However, I do believe I'll be pre-ordering the dinosaur handler. Zanya is a no-brainer for the vehicle. I'm not sure what's a stupid idea. I'm not sure what you're saying was a stupid idea, Pop, but sure. 3-star says, Zanya is a brawler. These are dumbass weapon choices for her. Okay. Well, you don't have to use them. And remember, it's classified. They do whatever they want. I just don't like the way it looks. She does, again, she comes with a mix and match of specific weapons that people are like, I don't really get. I agree. They just, again, they have to redo this stuff. They have to reuse it. This is how they keep the budget down. You think I disagree. I mean, but again, G.I. Joe's always, come on. You're saying that a dinosaur is goofy, but a war crime guy in a big fucking yellow and red fucking suit isn't ridiculous? Or a yellow and green fucking airtight? Like, come on. G.I. Joe's full of ridiculous shit. It's full of ridiculous shit. So that's all I'm saying. And again, he talked about it. He's like, why they created Serpentor? They have, why wouldn't you think that they would go in the lab and try and create dinosaurs? Anyway, this is where people, again, everyone wants the swamp skier. I think people are happy with Zanya. They do want a Zanya. But the problem is, like, they give you a mask so you can kind of say, hey, she's an army builder, but she has a very distinct outfit on. And you can't really build an army of female dreadnoughts that are all wearing the exact same outfit that are distinct. So this was the wrong person to have this. This is really one of those things where they should have broken away and said, the swamp skier, all right, Pulse exclusive. I don't care. Fucking number it. I don't give a shit. But people want the swamp skier. But at the same time, they also know there are going to be people that are going to buy 5 or 6 of them so they can put all the dreadnoughts, including, Zartan on it. Smart on their data. Will there be more of the swamp skiers? Yeah, we know there's going to be. All right, so here's what it looks like. She got the big shotgun. On the back, we have the breakdown of it, what flips up, what goes inside of it. $194. This goes up again tomorrow. Fan channel. I will have links to Amazon and Entertainment Earth as soon as I get them. So look for it. Okay, Walmart CollectorCon, March 19th and 20th. This is the Dire Tech and Night Creeper. We've already talked about this. I threw this in here because this was from last week, and I thought it was going up last week, but it actually goes up this week, so it works out. So Walmart exclusive. That's what all the Dire Tech stuff is right now. There will be a limited amount on Pulse. Don't lose your mind if it sells out on Pulse because they have a limited amount. You're supposed to go over to Walmart and get it. Here's another thing. It will probably be up on Walmart for a little bit. Don't come in 3 fucking hours later after it's been up and say, oh, it's sold out. You're going to have time to get it, is my guess. Just be prepared. Take it, take a fucking shit break at that time if you're working and go order it. It takes a couple seconds. But anyway, this is the Dire Tech Night Creeper. I like everything about this except for the mask. I feel that mask, and we talked about it on Circle of Jerks. I think I talked about it here. That should have been specific to Crystal Ball. I will not be using it on him. Someone did say, hey, you know what? This could be good if Crystal Ball created everyone to have this. Then I guess I can understand, but not everyone comes with it. There were other heads they could have used. They should have done a translucent green Night Creeper head. That would have made more sense. Or you could take the horns off. Baldy said that horn actually does come off. You can heat it up, or they could have did something different rather than that horn, even made a broken horn or whatever. But this will be available. What? Oh, you said you couldn't agree more. Okay, I thought you were going to say you didn't agree. Alex Martinez says, I missed out on the Ghost Viper. It never showed up in my local. I didn't say go to your local Walmart because I've never seen it in the store either. Online, they will be available. All right, they will be available. Joe Aray says this guy needs a dolphin. A space dolphin. Again, when I'm telling you stuff, or on Circle of Jerks, we tell you, I can't speak for everyone else. I can speak for the shows that I'm on or the people that I'm involved with. Very few things have been impossible to get that have sold out like crazy. Walmart, the stuff goes up there. It usually sits up there for hours before it sells out. And then people lose their fucking mind. The thing is, go ahead. Easy to do. You go ahead on your device called the phone. There's a thing called an alarm. Hell, you probably use that alarm to get up for fucking work. Set an alarm. And when it goes off, go, hey, I'm going over to Walmart. Hey, I just so have to take a shit right now at work. And you go take a shit, you order your fucking toys, and then all is good. But Billy, I missed out on Pythona and Snake Armor too. If I remember correctly, those were up for quite some time. I mean, these things, and I'm not going back to the first couple of years because there was a shitstorm early on. But the fact of the matter is, most of these were up there for quite some time, especially in the past 2 years or so. So I don't have a lot of sympathy for people when they say they can't get them. Now, maybe you can't get away from work. Maybe you are in a meeting. But it seems like the people that constantly have a fucking problem, it's always the same fucking people. And it's like, we're telling you what to do. And I can't do any more than that besides say, hey, this is what I have going. This is how you resolve that issue. So that's all that I'm saying. Mr. Madga says, I just grabbed two more Night Vipers Saturday at Walmart. Oh, I've seen the Night Vipers popping up all over the fucking place. Not all over, but I've seen them a bunch of times. All right, so here's everything that you're gonna get. Again, I like what they did, and I know they were kind of making jokes about Circle of Jerks. If you have the gray and black hand ninja from Marvel Legends, I think he's going to match really good with this. The color scheme works. Obviously, he has the green, but they will match pretty well. But anyway, so here you go. Night Creeper, the Dire Tech. And then we get this guy. I'm going to tell you right now, everyone has ragged on this. Everyone has bitched about this. This thing is going to fucking sell out. And you know what we're going to hear? We're going to watch people lose their fucking mind if this thing sells out after everyone has bashed it since the moment they saw it. And I'm going to say, this one is growing on me. Because I really don't think, other than that it's Duke and it's not Duke's colors, and I do think the gun is stupid, I like the look of him where he kind of has jeans and boots on and just like a regular button-up shirt. Works. It works for so many different things that he could be doing. But this is also going up on Walmart. So be prepared. Again, if you want it, get it. Don't wait. Look, Ed says, I like this Duke. Again, I think there should be more on the card. It should be more for like 250th anniversary of, the United States of America. But yes, there's something I really like about this. This is America. Fuck yeah, Duke. And Baldy says he's great for customs. Now, will this one sell out? I'm not sure. But I can tell you, and we will be talking about it tomorrow, right? We will talk about all this shit again tomorrow. But when this stuff sells out, all the stuff that people didn't want, when it sells out, we all laugh because we're like, I thought nobody wanted this. Ninja Force Zartan. I don't want that shit. I don't want that. And then everyone's lost their minds because, Target's already sold out. Like, man, I thought no one wanted it. I'm glad I bought 4 of them. I did not. Matter of fact, I actually don't have Ninja Zartan from Hasbro Pulse, only from Target, because I've actually missed it on Pulse, believe it or not. Anyway, this all goes up on Walmart. And to all the people that I've insulted today, I don't care. I have so many more people to insult. Okay, so anyway, there you go. I do think that this is a fail here with the packaging. if this is supposed to be the celebration of the United States of America and its birthday, where is the acknowledgement of that's what it is? This is, again, this is where you but I thought I was supposed to ask you to send me the figures that you're not going to review since you're not doing anything with them. Isn't that how it's supposed to go, Baldy? I'm supposed to ask you, since you're not reviewing them, why don't you just send them across the country to me? I guess I guess I get the memo maybe messed up. Anyway. Okay. So that's what I do think the miss is, that they're not acknowledging what this thing actually is. It just isn't I think the card back is an atrocity. Yes. Well, correct. That'll work. I will say this. I actually like, I don't like the backpack. I don't like the white guns and everything. I like the aesthetic of it. Again, it is great for a custom. It makes it look like he's wearing blue jeans, just with some pants on, some boots on, with like an off-white, collared shirt. I actually think it looks pretty good, to be 100% honest. It's not the Duke. I said I like all the colors. Mixing and match them. Actually, it doesn't look bad. It just doesn't look like a G.I. Joe, in my opinion. But undercover, I think it works great. So, all right. And then this got dropped. All right. And this, well, oops, sorry about that. Well, people have complained about this because I didn't have it in the 80s. Like, God, dude, like, I don't get, if you don't want something, then don't buy it. Now, here's our mustard and ketchup and mustard. We should have known they were going to do something like this. They gave it with the original HasLab Sky Striker, which is not 1/12. But these new boxes, they're crates. Someone complained about them dragging it. Then I heard military people go, no, dude, we'd hook stuff up all the time and drag it to where it needed to be. It wasn't always on wheels and stuff. This is an awesome job. Before anyone wonders, no, it's not going to come with all the little filler in there to put the guns in it. There are some questions I have for this. One is, why is Ketchup running with the saw? Now I understand they gave him they gave him the machine gun from the Saw Viper, which, again, on the mold, I'm assuming the chainsaw is, but I've yet to figure out why the grounds crew has a chainsaw. Now, if it's part of the mold, that's fine, but like, this picture just is kind of hilarious. It's just kind of hilarious. Now, 3 Stars says, we knew they were going to make it. We just expected it a year ago. Now it's just half-baked reuse. Well, I mean, I think it should have come out earlier? Yes. But the Rattler is the last HasLab that we got. Now, the question is, where's the stuff for the Dragonfly? When you look at this, I mean, that stuff is going to be reused for some sort of Dragonfly crew. And again, if you don't have the Rattler, this may not be something you're interested in. But I will say this, we're probably going to get a Fang eventually. And there'll probably be a hook that these things can hook to and they can fly. But this is just good for world building. Now, I don't mind the saw. It's really hard to get that saw into proper position. I like the fact that they put a saw bayonet on the Saw Viper. It's comical. It's funny. I like it. I just think it's funny that they threw a saw in his hand, like his little chainsaw. Like, what's he doing with the chainsaw? The other guy's flagging down the Rattler, and he's like waving a chainsaw, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Well, the trouble bubble, but I don't know if there's any hooks to hold that, and claws. I don't think you're gonna be hanging that from a claw. Ed says you never know when a tree will sprout out in the runway. Well, that's why it's a VTOL though. Like it technically doesn't need a runway to land, but you are correct. Lego Star Wars Kid says, love the set. I'll take 4. Yeah, I don't think I need more than 1 because there's only so much room for the grounds crew. But you're absolutely correct. I mean, like the boxes can be used for so many things, whether or not you're doing photography in the back. It's just sitting there. Again, I do think it should have come out earlier and closer to the Rattler. But who cares if it's reused? I don't understand why that's, like, and I still think, Darren, like, I mean, I still think like sometimes you guys think like they should give us as much new stuff as possible and everything should be new. But then everyone will be bitching. I mean, you're already bitching that these figures are $28. If they're doing new molds all the time, fuck, dude, everything's gonna be $50 to $60. Merging Lion jumping in here, saying I am getting the flight crew even though I don't have a Rattler. All I gotta say is,
wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
In Emerging Lion, I gotta say, I don't think that you need a Rattler to have this because, again, this is world building. Remember, there were a lot of YouTubers, a lot of G.I. Joe collectors that don't believe that they should be in 6-inch form. That said G.I. Joe is world building, it is vehicle building, and you can't do that in this scale. Well, the 3D printers have fucking told everyone you're full of shit because we see what is bought. And it gave the classified team a whole new world to say, yeah, we can build vehicles. We can make vehicles. We can build boxes. We can do portal potties or whatever it is. This is something still that Black Series and even Marvel Legends haven't been able to do. G.I. Joe is really the only successful line in the 1/12 scale that is producing vehicles and dioramas, and it's actually working. Marvel Legends, they tried doing the Engine of Vengeance. It failed because it was priced wrong. We get some motorcycles. Black Series tried doing the Snowspeeder and the Giant TIE Fighter, which, again, if you've never seen the TIE Fighter in real life, it is huge. We get some Mezco and some other people. Do any of us think that Big Bad Workshop will try and do vehicles? If they do, it's not going to be a whole bunch. So it's just one of those, in my opinion. We're seeing that they are perfectly fine with this. Ball Deluxe says, nah, spread the sets out like they do in the OG 13s. Add value to the older figures and the sets. I don't have a problem with them spreading them out, but I think that giving you a grounds crew early on, just like they did for the fire team, I think that's smarter because you've already paid for the Rattler, right? You already paid for the hiss. You want something to go with it right away. So I disagree with that. I do think that you should spread them out, but I think you should have something ready to go. Clearly, they're doing it for the Snowcat right away, right? They're going to have that ready to go. So I do think that they should spread it out so it does raise the value. Wait a minute, Ball. Weren't we accused of trying to make HasLabs work to raise the value of our Baldy, look. I can't believe I'm letting people in on the Circle of Jerks secret, but our whole goal as a YouTube channel is to get people to buy into the HasLab, but not too many, just enough that we can raise the value, because so many people listen to what we say. Don't let that go anywhere. 74 people watching. Don't let more people know. It's our little secret. Dude, seriously, somebody left that comment. Somebody left that comment that we're just trying to raise the value of our HasLabs. Yes. There it is. Circle of Jerks exposed. Next 48 hours. Sorry, Baldy. I should not have said anything. Heidsme says the boxes are for your patches. Brad, did somebody say boxes? Huh. Anyway, here's everything that you're gonna get. Oh, man, sorry. I like the colors, the red, the yellow. We know what they were doing. I don't even care about the saw or the machine gun. I understand that they gave the chainsaw. I just think it's funny that they throw the picture in with him running around with the chainsaw. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with the chainsaw? But this box is new. They're going to use that box again. And let's be honest, they're going to do a Dragonfly one. The Dragonfly one should have come. I mean, I think we all know that. You have the helicopter is perfect. Now, I've heard people say, well, what, you're going to hook it to the Rattler? Well, the Rattler is a VTOL, so it does vertically lift. So yes, you could hook this to the bottom of a Rattler without a problem. But anyway, there you go. And there is the box for it. There is the back of it. And that is the end of this. And now we're going to get to the wonderful topic of the 5 faces of punk. But I need to go to the bathroom. So I'm going to play something. Let's see here. I know I got at least one jerk in here. So here you go.
Welcome back to Late Night with Mothman. Oh man, we've had such a crazy ride so far with all the amazing guests and shows that we've watched throughout this 36-hour stream. And I want to make sure y'all know we got to keep donating. We got to keep getting them numbers up. Skeletor, what are you doing here? Skeletor has come for the circle jerk. Ooh. Come again? That's the plan. Skeletor, I think you're confused. There's no this is a Late Night with Mothman, so I don't know what you're referring to. Man, Tony's Figs told me I could meet 4 bald men here for a circle jerk. And Skeletor will not leave until he's satisfied. Skeletor, I think you might be confused with the show that's called Circle of Jerks, and they're not on right now. Then they do a show like every week or every other week or something. I don't watch it. Fool! I promise you, Skeletor is not confused. Skeletor, I'm trying to tell you there's no circle jerk going on here right now.
I got this. Skeletors. What you're looking for it's back here in the back.
Yes, Skeletor will be satisfied. I don't even know what's happening anymore, guys. So, maybe we just kick back to the 36-hour live stream, and y'all just keep donating money for Toys for Tots. Yeah, Late Night with Mothman, I guess.
Idiots! Incompetent buffoons! What is it now, Commander? Consummate morons, incapable of coherent thought! Are you watching that show again?
Yes.
Why didn't you just watch Pop Blender and Matthew's discussions, news, reviews before the show came out? Whether you agree or disagree, the perspectives provide enough context to know if the show or movie is worth your time or not. Yes, I know. I will not miss another Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on Pop Blender's channel. Be more than once a man by watching Pop Blender and Matthew talk about pop culture news, discussions, and reviews on Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And now you know. Televiper, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe so we do not miss another episode. And hit that bell notification.
Fired? Have you recently lost your job with a major toy manufacturer? Tariffs got you down? You may be entitled to sharing your story on a major media streaming outlet. We want you to dish the dirt. Call Circle of Jerks at 900-555-0979. We will exploit you for our personal gain. That number again is 900-555-0979. Circle of Jerks. Every client gets a cookie.
All right. I feel much better. I got a good half hour if that's what I need. And if you don't know, tomorrow there are a couple of different shows at 6:30-ish over on Baldy Lock's channel. We do Circle of Jerks, myself, Baldy, we're usually the mainstays, David Speck, Toy Optics, Tony when he's not with his girlfriend and she dictates what he's doing, and Terry if he's not sleeping. And then after that, starting at 10 p.m. Pop Blender and my moderator Matthew Matson, they do their own show. I've been asking for another commercial. It's not, they do pop culture stuff. It's not a toy talk, unlike, I don't know what the fuck Circle of Jerks is. We talk toys, we rag on each other. It's something. Anyway, so I've mentioned this before. When you do roughly 45 shows a year and you try and have a topic, and not every week are you going to have a huge news burst where you're going to be spending a time doing G.I. Joe or Marvel Legends or whatever. You've got to come up with topics. And so I'm always struggling with topics, and obviously I've done different topics. I've come back, but I kind of was looking at like the three faces of Foley. That's what you kind of saw in the that's what you see in the thumbnail. And I was thinking about the five faces of Punk, me. And I hate using myself in the third person. And so, there's been an evolution with everything that I have done. And I believe you fully get a fatigue with one voice. And I used to tell this to Oz all the time when he was trying to grow the clubhouse. I'm like, dude, you're on every fucking show, man. No one wants to tune in and hear what you have to say because they've already heard you. They've heard you on Mega J. They've heard you over here. Like, nobody wants to hear you. And that goes for everyone. And we're seeing it now. I fully believe there is a fatigue from me in many ways too, because I've seen the numbers start to dip here, and that's fine. I do this because I enjoy it. I know that there is competition with Jerkin Gaines. Now I think Destro as my spirit animal is doing stuff. I've asked people what the fuck are they talking about, so they've left, and believe me, no one misses that. And that's fine. But one of the things that I really did when I was trying to do everything was I didn't want to do the same thing in every single format of what I'm doing. So that is kind of where this idea came from. And I'm just going to kind of go through everything quickly. So here we have a Punk with Toys. Now, this was not the original logo that I had. A matter of fact, I used to go by Punk Rock Skate Dad, which is my personal Instagram. And then when it started growing, I changed it to a Punk with Toys. my daughter did this. This is the Vision Streetwear. Now, when I talk about a punk with toys, I'm talking about pretty much the reviews that I'm doing. And if you notice in my reviews, I don't swear very often. I made a conscious effort to want to show my face. You saw a lot of hands in the, you see a lot of hands in the, doing the reviews. They call it, hands of the camera. But I wanted people to know who I am. Whether they like me or not, it creates a connection. It creates this connection. And I think I've done a wonderful job, good or bad, because there are people that don't want to have anything to do with me. I get screenshots of what someone says, like, "Oh, I can't stand that punk guy," and that's fine. Like, it's it is what it is. And YouTube, any type of social media, it's not meant for everyone. There are people that are not meant to be on social media. They can't handle rejection. They can't handle when people criticize them. But when it came to doing my reviews, I wanted something to just be honest. I wanted the full out honesty. I wanted the full out honesty of what I saw. My experience reviewing this figure may not be your experience, but you were going to watch what I was doing. And Matthew started. Before Matthew was even my moderator, he was someone that I met through the Full Force, and we talked about stuff. And he always says, like, authenticity is the new currency. And over the years, I've had so many people, within the comments or messaging me, telling me that they like the stuff that I'm doing, that I'm honest. They actually feel that. And again, there are people that I don't like, and people say, "Well, that's just an act." I hate fake people. It is one of my biggest pet peeves. What you mostly see from me. Again, maybe I'm a little more amped up at times, but I've said, there's people that met me at Joe Fest, Assembly Required, PowerCon, or just, through Sergeant Reds. Like, I am who you see. Maybe I'm a little more amped up at times because you're doing something, but I am the fucking person that you see. But I just wanted an open dialogue. I wanted someone to be able to question. I wanted people to be able to correct me if they saw something wrong. I wanted to be able to come back a week later and be like, "I was wrong about this. I was overly harsh. This just needed to be broken in." And I wanted it to be where I'm not swearing, because you might be watching this with your kid. There's many people that told me, like, "Hey, I watched this with my kid. We open up the toys." That means a lot to me. And I've said to people, I'm like, stop swearing in your reviews. Not everyone raises your kid. Not everyone will raise their kids to be like you. Maybe they don't want to swear. I've had many people tell me, like, "I had to turn your live streams off because you're swearing." Well, my live streams are after 9 p.m. And you also know what you're going to get. I'm very honest about it, right? So when it comes to the reviews, and that is one face of me, is that I'm giving you someone who is opening up a figure. I'm doing my reviews. I feel like my reviews have changed. I've got to know more in the industry, understanding certain things. Some things that might pop off doesn't mean they broke. Some of them are meant to pop off. Other times I've had figures that I've opened up that are broken. But it's just to give you an honest and as fair assessment as I can. I'm never going to be that person that says, just because my figure didn't break doesn't mean I didn't see all over the internet 8 other people that had a broken figure. Zorana, I never had a problem with Zorana's arm. But how many people had a problem with her arm for me not to be stupid? How many people for me to be stupid and say, "No, that's not true"? Because I had that issue with CoverGirl, and I knew right away that was it. So that's like That's the version of my reviews. That is one face. And again, if you follow wrestling, you know the three faces of Foley. Dude Love, Mankind, and Cactus Jack. And then obviously McFoley becomes, but that actually four faces. After I did the reviews, and I mean, I've done some other things where I've talked about, what my belief for the next HasLab is, or I was wrong. But for the most part, my content is doing reviews. When I started talking to Matthew about doing this show, I had to pick a night. And I knew wrestling might be problematic because there is a crossover with wrestling fans. Not as much as you would think, though, but wrestling fans and toy fans. Not so much football fans. I wasn't too worried about football fans because the toy world is not big in the toys. But I wanted something to be very consistent. I wanted to be honest. I wanted it to be just me. Now, some people could say that's egotistical. In some ways, I'm a control freak in some ways. I like to have controls. I'm doing what I want. I don't even like, I could easily have Matthew pop in here, highlight the comments. The channel has not grown to a point where I need to have somebody in the back highlighting comments for me. I'm able to do this all on my own. And again, it's something I like to do. I like to see, and again, I can't read through everyone. And sometimes I highlight something that I shouldn't because they're in the middle of a conversation. But the next one was Monday Night Toy Ramblings. Maybe you guys haven't noticed, but I've kind of changed the Duke Roman. I turned this into the new logo. And when talking with Matthew, I said, I want to be consistent. I don't want to continue. I don't want to be talking to the same 12 people a year from now. I've watched people come in. I've seen people that are no longer watching. I know a lot of people are busy. They watch it on the replay. I see their comments. Hey, I caught it on the replay. The evolution of Monday Night Toy Ramblings, it evolved into the whole monologue for probably the first 45 to 60 minutes talking about my life. I probably tell you guys way more about my life than what I should. You guys know me. You know my kids. You know my daughter more than my son. My son doesn't, he plays video games. He doesn't really want to be part of anything. Olivia, on the other hand, I'm surprised. I mean, she came over. I barely saw her because I was taking my nap. And I wanted this to grow, and it has grown. It's gone. It's come down a little. And people, they come in, they leave. Again, I don't expect people to be here all the time. That's why anytime someone says, sorry, I'm late, I'm like, dude, don't ever apologize for being late, man. You're here. You're giving me some of your time. And this has become like the Monday Night Bar. You guys come in without every single one of you. I'm talking to nobody. But this show evolved into the platform of, yeah, I'm going to be swearing. I'm going to speak my mind. Sometimes I'm going to lose my shit. Now, understand this. I don't ever lose my shit to the point where I really have to worry about my blood pressure. It's just kind of a running joke. But I started formatting it and changing it to where if you're watching on the replay, you just hit play and you don't have to really be watching stuff. You're here to listen to me obliterate the English language, not know the figures. But over time, I like the fact that it's me asking you guys and you guys tuning in and going, hey, dude, this is so-and-so. That's so-and-so. It's the audience's participation. I like to give a topic to talk about something at the end. I formatted it to the point where we start with MOTU. If there's MOTU news, it became the running joke. When I used to talk MOTU, you want to talk about watching the numbers plummet. It was crazy. I would just watch those numbers plummet. And it became a running joke to the point where now everyone is watching it, making jokes about it. But this is where, I worked at it and I said, okay, we're going to talk about, I had the beginning, my monologue. I tell you about my family, what I've been doing. You guys know who I am. There is this actual connection. This is why, whether it's a running joke or not at Joe Fest, there is a reason why so many people come over and they want to talk to me and they want to seek me out because they feel like they know me, even though they really don't. And it doesn't mean that I don't want to get to, it doesn't mean I don't want to get to know them. It's just like guys on the radio, you think you know, you don't really know them. And maybe eventually you will. Dan Holton said, MOTU is no joke. Graph. I'm awake. Someone said MOTU. But it evolved to where, I'm telling you the whole monologue, what's going on. 10 minutes before I write down everything, in case stuff is there. I say hi to every single person. Again, I can do that because I'm by myself. You can't do that on other shows where there's 4 people on there. You can't say hi to everyone because there's other people talking. It's going to take way too much time. This is that connection that I feel like I have created. And it is fully different than what you get from my reviews. But as you know, like we're talking about this topic here, many of you probably go, oh, fuck, what do you mean? Like 4 faces of you, you're the same fucking person, or 5 faces. But there are different versions, and I wanted things to be different. So the format of the monologue, everything goes in order. If you go back and watch the shows, like that first 45 to 60 minutes, it goes in almost in that exact same order every single time. I say hi to everyone, ask everyone how the weekend was. I tell you what I did over the weekend. All right. I say hi to the chat. I tell you the reviews and stuff that have come out, the videos that I've got or what I have coming in, and so forth. Every now and then there's a little bit of news that I'll talk about. Then we get into the news. Go back and watch. You'll see there is a format. MOTU. It is MOTU. It is Marvel Legends. It always ends with G.I. Joe Classified, unless there is something big, huge, like some big Marvel Legends, and that's the topic. Then we get into the topic, and the topic changes all the time. And I've told you before, sometimes my topic is, I think it's a great topic, and then a minute and a half into it, I'm like, shit. It seemed like I had a lot more to talk about. But this was the first live that I wanted to do. And I needed to be consistent. Too many people I felt didn't do it consistently. They didn't stay on top of it. They say they wanted to do something, but when it wasn't successful right away, they gave up. I had a built-in audience from all the reviews that I had done. We are now on season 4 of this show. So, at the end of this year, will be 4 full years of doing Monday Night Tour Ramblings, which didn't even have the name to begin with. That is the second phase. The next live that I wanted to do was Thursday with a Friend. Now, this is specifically for this, what's going on now. Thursday with a Friend, and I've talked about this before, but if you have not watched Thursday with a Friend, I'm going to ask you to please tune in. People bring on other creators. They bring on normally bigger creators. They bring on the toy maker, someone that's worked in the industry, because they want to pump their numbers. They want to pump their numbers. I would always be in, and this really goes back to Geek Dead Life and Toy Anxiety. And I'd always see people in the chat, and I'm like, what is their story? And I talk about this all the time. And as the show grew and you got to know certain names, I wanted to talk to people and get to know people that have supported me, whether it was on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, in my personal life. I have asked people to come on the show that have said, I'm boring. No one wants to hear my story. And I'm like, I want to hear your story. This is the show that I am most proud of. It is the easiest show for me to do too. Because at first I had a list of questions and I know where I want to get from point A to point B. You know, where you were born, all this other stuff. I don't need it anymore because now it just becomes this long, normally a 3-hour conversation. Shark Guys is jumping in and saying 5 faces of punk. Does that mean you really own 5 flags and 40 shipwrecks? So I worked this and I made it so it is one of those things where I'm bringing someone on, we're going to get to know them. And I know the running joke is, oh, you always make it about yourself. But if I'm not having a back and forth conversation, then I'm just asking somebody to talk to me and answer questions. And no one wants to do that. And I feel that's one of the reasons why I'm able to get through to people. And I've had people talk about trying to take their own life. I've had people talk about losing, children, losing their loved ones. I had someone come on and a week later he messaged me and said, thank you. He goes, I hadn't talked about my brother passing away and I didn't even realize I needed to. And your show allowed me to. After Oz talked about trying to take his own life years ago, that was when I got the messages from people going, you handled that wonderfully. You didn't try and change the subject. There's something he wanted to talk about. And that's when I realized, like, I'm doing something right. And I'm asking you guys, I didn't want another toys show. This was one of the things I needed to change. Like, I have my reviews, they're done a certain way. Monday night is completely different. It is me speaking off on what I think and you guys having your say. Thursday with a Friend is talk about and get to know someone, and is meant to be evergreen, where let's say you're like, shit, dude, what is up with this Matthew Matson, dude? I'm going to go fucking, and then you look him up and like, oh shit, he was on Thursday with a Friend. Now I can tell you, since the last time I had Matthew on to now, man, everything has changed in how I've approached things, how I'm able to get more out of people. And when I sit down with someone, I talk right away. I let them know, I go, I'm not going to ambush you with questions. I'm not going to ambush you with like, hey, so I don't like this fucker. What do you think of him? Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to talk religion. I'm not going to talk politics. Is there anything that you don't want to talk about? So I can know to swerve my way around it, because there are specific topics people don't want to talk about. Won't be a shock, but people don't want to talk about being on the police force because they get such a bad reputation. There have been multiple people in law enforcement that completely ignored that and didn't want to talk about it. Blows my mind. So this is the one I'm most proud of. And again, if you're not watching it, I'm going to ask, give it a chance and just see. Take yourself out of listening to toys, because we will talk about toys and what you like, but I wanted something different. And this is something no one else is doing in our community. I don't care what anyone says. This is where I'm going to pat myself on the back. No one else is doing this. No one else has really tried it. People want to bring other people on and they want to talk about toys. I want to know about the person, because God, please tell me there's more to you than fucking toys. There has to be, or else you have a more pathetic life than me. So this is the other face, the other side of what I'm doing. I want my stuff to be different. This is really, when you're doing as much YouTube as I am, you want to create as little fatigue as possible. So, and this topic all came because of Viper Scout, who said, "Hey, I like this show. I like the show, but I really love Thursday with the Friend." It was a comment I completely missed a couple weeks ago. Punk's Pit. Now, when you have channel members, you got to do stuff for them. And it's difficult because I've often struggled with channel members and like, what can I give you? I already give so much. And what I mean by that is I do these reviews and I put them out there for everyone. There's only so much time in a day. Believe it or not, YouTube does not pay the bills. Doesn't even come close to it. So Punk's Pit was one of those things that I wanted to do. Now, originally it was going to be a revolving membership thing. And I've seen these other shows where people just put out the link and they let people join. The problem with that is you get people that come in, they don't talk, they just sit there, they don't contribute. And that is fine for specific shows, but I started working it to a point where there are specific people that I have come on Punk's Pit. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't throw out the link or I send the link to some other people, but you are going to see the majority of the same people on. And again, we're reading your comments. I don't have a huge channel membership following. So there's not that many people in the chat. And we also can't see how many there are because it's really weird what YouTube does. Channel members only, you can't see how many people are watching. Really fucking weird, to be honest. Yeah, clean your channel members also get the Discord too. Shit, I forgot about that. The Tony says Punk's Pit, where we all talk. That's not exactly true, and I'll say it again. Anytime that you're on any channel member, any private stream, remember anyone can do a screen record. So if you're not willing to say it out out in public, don't say it because anyone can fucking record it and then put it out there. So you better be willing to say, yeah, I said that. This is why. Todd, he says Punks allows no pants on cam for members Discord. Yeah, well, again, because you don't care. Again, but you'll say that on Circle of Jerks. You'll say that out. That's all I'm saying. You can say whatever you want as long as you're willing to put it out there. So this evolved to Matthew and I are the ones that have the power for it because I can only have one person with the StreamYard for the StreamYard that I have. It's stupid. StreamYard should give you at least 2 other seats. They should allow you to have like 2 moderators. But anyway, they don't. You have to pay for that. So this is another version of what you're going to see. Again, a completely different show than what you see on completely different show than what you see on Thursday with a Friend. Way different than what you see on Monday Night Ramblings, and obviously different than the reviews. You're going to see revolving people, usually the same people. So you get to know our voices. You get to know how we think. You get to know how we interact. Doesn't mean that we don't bring on other people, but I do try and keep it limited because we have such a good chemistry with the people that I have on there. And then comes to the final show, which did start off also on my show, on my channel. We were simulcasting this show. This show came as a joke. Baldy reached out to me, said, "Hey, would you like to talk about the classified live stream?" That didn't happen. That got pushed back. And Baldy said, man, I really did want to talk. And I'm like, we can still go live. We can still go live. Who the fuck cares? And then we can go live when they do it. I don't care. So we started doing this. I think we started every 2 weeks. And I didn't know Terry. I knew Baldy. We met him at Joe Fest. I knew Tony very well. Spec, at this point, I still thought was like the boringest motherfucker ever. Even though I had him on the show. I think I had you on the show by that time. I don't remember. So I still thought Spec was like the boringest fucker in the world. Come to find out, he's not the boringest person in the world. He was on a boring show that didn't allow people to show their personalities and be human and be fun, right? And this show, if you're not watching Circle of Jerks, and again, I do think that the Circle of Jerks, I think that show has cut into the amount of people that will tune into this because they're like, hey, I'm just going to hear you again on Tuesday. And that's fine. I don't take offense to it. I can only listen to my voice so much. This is a completely different show. This is a show where pretty much anything goes. Baldy pretty much tells us the topic that day. Do we have a topic tomorrow? Tony, I don't know. Do we have a fucking topic tomorrow? I have no idea. Baldy probably doesn't know. We'll be talking about the figures that dropped, but we've already talked about them. And we'll talk about just weird, random things. But we have fun. We will go at it with each other. And the amount of comments that Baldy gets after that show, and if you just go read the comments, you'll realize like we have something that people are enjoying. Not everyone gets this. It's just one of those things, but it's different than everything else that I'm doing. I said no more than 4 people. I was very adamant when we started doing this, but then we started having Tony as a fill-in. And again, Tony and I can only say it so many times. Tony and I are very close. And we were supposed to do Freestyle Fridays. We had talked about doing Freestyle Fridays. Our schedules were never going to allow for it. That's why it was going to be freestyle. And so when we started doing Circle of Jerks and he was the fill-in, we kind of talked like, hey, should we just add him as a member? And for the most part, it was like, I was like, I didn't want more than 4 people, but Tony's perfectly fine. And also, again, Tony's also on the ambulance, so we don't know when he's going to be. Terry works nights, so he drops out or can't always do it. Spec now has a job. So the only 2 consistent people that are always there, I have actually never missed it. Even when I went to the funeral, I popped in at the end. Even when I was sick, I popped in at the end. This is a different show. And the one thing that and why they say the 3 or the 5 faces is because I want everything to be different. You're going to see the same, you're going to hear the same voice. And I'm sorry you have to hear this voice. It's not a succulent voice. You're never going to hear me. You're never going to hear figures and fitness. Today was a push day, like I'm pushing my voice, from Zakanan. Like you're never going to get that amazing voice. Woody never, I'm never going to have a Woody voice, right? Or the monotone voice of Bees Battleground, right? Welcome to Bees Battleground. Today we're going to be opening up our kits, and we're going to be looking at this figure that won't be out for another 3 months. Everyone has to change things. And I feel like when you see shows that are doing 3 or 4 days a week, that you get fatigue from them, especially if it's always the same voice. It's always the same people. I feel like I can only listen to so much, and how much toy talk can there actually be? And even with the chemistry, there becomes that major fatigue. Quickly, Pop says, If you're a channel member and comfortable on camera with groups and willing to participate, the pit is a good place to come hang. Just be prepared for Matthew to get a buzz and tell you you're wrong. But even that, like, that's what I was saying. Like, that show has changed to the point where I'm not throwing out the link just to everyone, is I give it to specific people. And that's because we formed a good chemistry. You never see Viper Scout on anything. Very seldom does Viper Scout go live and show his face. He's almost always on Punk's Pit. A lot of times he's driving home from work. He's not being reckless. But it is one of those things. And again, I try and change things up. So all the shows that you see me on, including my reviews, I try and give you something different. Because I don't want you to hear, you already have to hear the same voice, but I don't want you to hear the exact same thing. Like, dude, this guy just talked about this 4 times this week. Punk's Pit, we're all over the fucking place. All right. The people start talking and they're laughing and they're like, dude, like, you're talking about 90210, and you're like, yep, that's where we got. J Solo Art says there's a great chemistry with you all, even with someone out. You guys are very funny to tune into. Yeah, thank you very much. And I'm assuming you're talking about Circle of Jerks. And again, that was one of those things that just kind of came together. I already knew Tony and I, we've been on shows together. I know how we are. One of those things, I said it before, when I went to Joe Fest, I was worried I was not going to go along with Baldy. Baldy does a lot of things that drive me fucking nuts. Now, as I got to know Baldy, I realized he's just a fucking troll. Sorry if I'm ruining your surprise there, Baldy, or your secret. He's a fucking troll. And when you get to realize that, that's when you're like, okay. And we got along great at Joe Fest. So I knew us doing a show, it was going to be fine. Spec, I had no idea. Spec was not a fan of me at the beginning. He thought I was too rough on some people until he realized the reason why certain people drove me nuts and why I said what I would say. So, but then Spec came out of the shell. He was no longer boring. He had an opinion. He started making shit, stuff like this. I don't know where the fuck that came from. And I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about all the Licky Baldies. It all came from Spec's fucked up, warped mind. And, other than he wants to talk Transformers and Turtles, and Tony and I are like, all right, dude, sometimes it can be long-winded. Here I am at 3 hours and 14 minutes saying someone else can be long-winded, but you guys get the picture. So yeah, that became, the fifth show. Fifth different, but everything that I do, I try and change it. I don't want everyone to hear the exact same thing. I want things to be different. And there are people that do multiple shows, and I'm assuming they do things differently. I don't watch everyone's show. I can't. I will try and tune in for Jerkin Games, but they do a show on Mondays and Thursdays. Kind of difficult for me to watch. Other than, before. And I try and take a nap leading up to it. So if it's possible, I try and tune in, the last, 15, 10 minutes if possible before I start my own show. And again, we see people bouncing around. Not everyone thinks about this thing as much as I do. I drive a lot. My mind's always going. What can I do different? What can I change about things? What can I do to make the experience a little bit better for people? I used to watch so much stuff about creating channels. And again, it's just one of those, it's just one of those things where I want things to be different. And I can remember telling Oz numerous times, like, dude, you're on every channel. I used to see Mega J on every channel. I'm like, fuck, dude, he's on every channel. Like, you get fatigue of seeing the exact same person. And I don't care who it is. And again, I understand that I truly do believe that I've watched the viewership go down on this show because people are like, hey, I'm going to see you in less than 24 hours on Circle of Jerks. I'll just catch you then. Well, that's fine. I'm not going to get upset about it. I chose to go on that show, and that show is way more successful than this show has because there is such a organic chemistry that people seem to love. And I mean, I love that show. But again, like, I needed a topic. I thought it was a pretty good thing to talk about. And I really thought about it after Viper Scout mentioned about, hey, and he said like the different shows, but I love Thursday with a Friend more than any of them. And I keep seeing the comments from people about how much they love Thursday with a Friend and what they get out of it and getting to know the other person. Again, you guys all know me. You all know my kids. You know what I did on the weekends. But to tune in and have no idea who Dead Man Juan is and get to know him. Or Joe ARH, who, yeah, he does a stream. He's on podcasts from the pit, but you're going to actually get to know him. I've had Tony on. Pop Blender's been on. Like, a lot of these guys, it's been a long time. Things have changed. I used to say, like, hey, you know what? Nothing's really changed in your life from the time that we did the show to now. Well, that's not exactly true because the format of things that I'm asking is different too. And so I think going in 2027, maybe before the end of the year, we're going to have to see after Joe Fest, because after Joe Fest is July. I'm going to be taking a little bit of time off from Thursday with a Friend at some point, probably in November. There's that whole punkathon going into Thursdays in November. And I found that Thursday with a Friend, other than like with Lenny, the pre-recorded ones don't do that well. And I don't care if only 200 people, if only gets like 200 views. What is disappointing is that someone tells so much of their story. They give so much of their time to me and so much in their story, and people don't watch it because it's not live. People want to ask questions. I'm going to try and do as many lives as possible when it comes to Thursday with a Friend. I just don't think the pre-recordings work. If I get someone like when I had Lenny on, right? That's the only way I'm going to get Lenny. I'll do that. That one still is the most viewed one. But it is one of those, it is one of those things. But the conversation has completely changed. So that is it. It is 12:30. It is 12:30. I have to work in the morning. Then I have to come back, do a show with a couple of fucking jerks. Who's on it? I don't know. Terry said he's going to be on it. Baldy has to be on it because it's on his channel. Will Tony be there? I don't know if Tony's working. Will Spec be there? He usually pops in. I don't know how that guy gets any work done now because he's there all the time. J Soul Arts quickly says, I've been with long enough. I've been with long enough punk that I think about memorable times in the past where I was watching you while I was doing etc. and I was watching your show. That is awesome. And the reason for that is we have so many inside jokes. inside jokes. Do you know about the rulers? If you don't, well, I don't know what else to say. There was an inside joke with my daughter that needed a ruler and she couldn't find one. And next thing I know, I have people sending me links to Amazon to get rulers. And then one time, a year later, after having them, she walked in during the show and needed a ruler. I've watched Jim Rome for so long. Now Dan Patrick. They will play clips and I can remember where I was, just like what you said. I can remember what I was doing. That means the world to me. That means that you have spent some time with me, heard these inside jokes. You're part of it. You're part of the family, the community. And again, that's why, like, at these conventions, I want to meet everyone, but I'm just a normal guy. I'm nothing special. So stop and say hi to me. If I don't say hi to you, if I don't go out of my way, again, remember there's 100 other people. And there's so many people that I don't get to talk to that I mean to, and I forget to. So definitely look, right now, the steroid stream was memorable. I believe probably my most watched one is still when I went off about copyright strikes. When Shark News decided to blatantly lie and say that I was giving false copyright strikes to him, and I had to fucking go show everyone that I wasn't doing that. Remember that. Just remember that, man. Like, some people blatantly lie for whatever fucking reason it was, and people still go back and fucking watch that fucking douchebag. I tell people, you have the ability, you can watch whoever you want. I don't care, and I'm not going to get mad. But when someone fucking flat out goddamn lies to try and hurt someone's fucking channel, man, I will never fucking forgive you or ever let that fucking go away. You showed what a piece of shit you. All right. Anyway, I'd rather talk about Wood Bunny, which we can't find Wood Bunny anymore. I can't watch it. I don't know where she's at, but man, she's fucking so hot. And she could actually do woodworking. That's what was crazy. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys all very much. Tune in tomorrow, Baldy Locks channel, 6:30-ish is when we go live. After that, we finish up probably about 8:30 now. We're going about 2 hours. I think, 9? I think 10, right, Pop? You guys start at 10. Listen, someone fucking goes out, tells people that you are giving them false copyright strikes, gets other YouTubers to fucking post it. That's not holding a grudge. That is saying, you know what? You're a fucking piece of shit, and everyone should know what a piece of shit you are. 10 p.m. I don't know. Maybe that's a grudge. I don't know. You consider that a grudge? I don't know. You're never going to get lies from me. Never. Anyway, I'm done. I really mean it this time. Everyone have a wonderful night. I will see you guys all tomorrow. Take care.